From Gloucester County College, Comcast Sports presents the District 29 Finals. And now we take it to Steve Anishevsky for tonight's introductions.
98 District 29 finalists. At 103 pounds, a junior, the number 3 seed. He's 20-2 this year, 41-10 for his career. From Clearview, Jeff Kovley. His opponent is a junior. He's the number 1 seed in this weight class. He is a defending district champion at 103 pounds and placed 2nd in Region 8. 26-1 this year, 63-6 for his career. From Paulsboro High School, Matt Humpler. At 112 pounds, a freshman, he was seeded 6th. 9-16 this year, 9-16 career. From Kingsway, Tim Pence. His opponent is also a freshman. 23-4 this year. From Paulsboro High School, Greg Croce. At 119 pounds, a junior and a number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner and district champ at 112 last year. He placed 3rd Region 8 at 112. 24-0 this year. 74-7 for his career. From Clearview, Robert Becker. His opponent is a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. A 4-time District 29 place winner and 3-time finalist. He was District 29 champ in 1995. 2-time Region 8 finalist, also champion in 1995. His record, 26-1 this year, 96-18 for his career. From Paulsboro, at 125 pounds. A senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 4-time district place winner, a former district champion and runner-up, a 2-time region place winner, runner-up in 1997. He placed 5th in the state of New Jersey last year. 25-0 this year, 95-20 for his career. From Pittman High School, Jason Mercado. His opponent is a junior and the number 3 seed in this weight class. 25-3 this year, 37-5 for his career. From Paulsboro High School, Preston Hamilton. At 130 pounds. A junior and a number 2 seed in this weight class. 23-3 this year, 42-11 for his career. From Kingsway, Boozman. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 20-2 this year, 23-5 for his career. From Paulsboro, Hoover. At 135 pounds, a junior and a number 3 seed in this weight class. 16-11 this year, 36-29 for his career. From Kingsway, Gristle. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 last year at this weight. 24-3 this year, 48-9 for his career. From Paulsboro, DJ Kersner. At 140 pounds, a senior. He placed 3rd in District 29 last year. 20-8 this year, 54-18 for his career. From Kingsway, Rick Kelly. His opponent also a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 last year. 23-3 this year. 36-26 for his career from Pittman High School JV Gymnastics. At 145 pounds, a 3-time district finalist, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He is a returning district champion at 135 last year. He's 23-4 this year, 87-20 for his career from Kingsway, Kevin Lowe. His opponent is a freshman and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 18-7 this year, Morrisy Tunstall. At 152 pounds, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 last year. 19-5 this year, 57-35 career from Pittman, Jim Morrisy. His opponent is a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. He placed 4th in District 29 last year. 18-5 this year. His career record, 47-26 from Gateway, B.J. Kersner. At 160 pounds, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 finalist and returning district champion at 152 pounds. He placed 3rd in Region 8 last year. 25-3 this year, 87-23 career from Kingsway, Hoover. His opponent is a senior and a number 2 seed in this weight class. 4th in District 29 last year, 17-5 this year, 53-26 career from Gateway, Mike Bonich. At 171 pounds, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class, a district runner-up last year, 25-3 this year, 58-25 career from Kingsway, Kevin Dovish. His opponent is a junior and the number 3 seed in this weight class. He also was a district runner-up last year. 8-2 this year, 17-9 career from Deptford, Sean Johnson. At 189 pounds, a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 4-time district place winner and 3-time finalist. 2-time region place winner, placing 3rd last year in Region 8. 22-0 this year, 86-19 career from Deptford, Sean Hendricks. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He is a defending District 29 champion at 189 pounds. 24-3 this year, 50-7 career from Paulsboro, Troy Bennett. At 215 pounds, a senior, the number 3 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 in 1996. His record 23-5 this year. His career record 57-21 from Kingsway, John Becker. His opponent is a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He placed 4th in District 29 last year. He's 23-5 this year. 31-16 career from Paulsboro, Warren Sharper. At 275 pounds, a senior, the number 3 seed in this weight class. 14-12 this year. 34 4-41 career from Kingsway, Jim Renard. His opponent is a junior and a #1 seed in this weight class. He was a District 29 runner-up at 275 last year. He's 8-1 this year, 30-14 for his career from Deptford, John Stroll. This time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to announce you're going into the finals in Bismarck. Gloucester County College is leading Division III 70-63, and 2 wrestlers have made the finals. Seneca Cooper, Paul Brown, and John Briggs of Phillipsburg. John Young, Greg Briggs, Todd Trampay from Delsey, and Paul Hassel made All-American. Now, Aaron Kratzen will sing our national anthem.
Gloucester County College, John Mondelli and John Vogeding having a little trouble hearing ourselves, but we're going to take a look at the team scoring, and Vog, just take it away.
Team scoring at this point, going into the final 14 bouts of this tournament. Paulsboro is on top, 199.5. Kingsway only 3 points behind, 196.5. Those two are going to meet 4 times in the finals, and ultimately one of those 2 teams is going to win the tournament. Kingsway won it last year. Paulsboro won it the previous 25 years. Paulsboro's won 33 district championships in their career. Going into the finals now, if people want to keep tag on the screen, if a wrestler wins in the finals, those are guaranteed placements points. If a wrestler wins in the finals, he will get 4 points for a win. If he gets a major decision, he will get an additional 1 team point. A tech fall, 1.5 points, and a near fall, a fall or disqualification win, he would get 2 additional points.
Okay, 103 pounds. Jeff Kovley of Clearview, he's 20-2 on the season, and Matt Humpler of Paulsboro, the #1 seed, 26-1, and the defending District 29 champion.
There we go, Humpler, the defending champion at this weight class. He only lost 1 time this year, and that was in the finals of the Deep Creek tournament down in Chesapeake, Virginia. He lost to Mike Robertson of Cary, North Carolina, a 2-time North Carolina state champion. He has since won every match. #1 seed, 26-1 entering finals. He gets a takedown against Jeff Kovley, who's 20 wins and 2 losses coming in. His only losses to Billy Lehman of Kingsway, 11-7 this year, and Tom Plotz of Collingswood, 6-2.
Hey, John, Kovley looked very impressive in the semifinals, as did Humpler today.
Kovley did look very impressive, John. He met Billy Lehman and beat him 12-0, and that's avenged one of the losses he had earlier this year. So Kovley, the junior, has had a very good tournament. The #3 seed started off with a first period fall against Greg McClintock of West Deptford, and then won 12-0 over Billy Lehman of Kingsway. 2-1 to score on a Humpler takedown, an escape by Kovley. Humpler gets a takedown. He's got a near side cradle. Oh my! Oh brother, he's got it tight. got it tight. That's close, John.
And of course, Paulsboro thinking bonus points for the team scoring in this, so these extra points can become pivotal for Paulsboro.
Obviously, that's a big thing here, getting bonus points. Humpler very, very close. This is one of the fastest starts I've seen him get all year. He's hungry. Oh, brother. Oh, my. Deep trouble. Oh, my. Kovley's got his elbows under. 15 seconds ago, he's got his elbows bracing him. That's keeping the blades off the mat. Hunter's got to go chest down on him, try and flatten out the elbows. You can see the air in there. 2 seconds, he's not going to get it, but he's going to near fall 3. And that's going to make it 7-1.
Quick start out for Matt Humpler.
Start of the second period, Kovley's choice. He's going to take the defensive position or the down position. Humpler with a big 7-1 lead. Remember, Paulsboro with a 3-point lead going into this bout, into the finals. And if Paulsboro wins any bout, they get 4 points. If Kingsway wins any bout, they get 4 points. And of course, the icing comes with the extra points for a tech fall, a major decision, or a pin or disqualification win. There's an escape by Kovley, makes it 7-2. Referee on the mat is Joe Henry, a veteran of many years. He calls a stalemate. His assistant referee on the mat is Chris Hunter. Third place at 103 pounds went to Dougie Gordon of Pittman. He got a late takedown to edge Billy Lehman of Kingsway, 5-4. Lehman came in as the number 2 seeded wrestler. He advanced in his first match by beating Hardison of Deptford 14-7. Then Kovley beat Lehman, and then Gordon, who lost to Humpler 14-4, beat Lehman for third place, and he will go to Absegami for the regionals. 7-2 the score. Humpler trying for another takedown. He's got it, and he's got back points coming if he keeps him in bounds. Not quite quick enough, but he gets the takedown. 9-2, Humpler with the lead. Humpler in control. This is one of the fastest starts I've seen Humpler have. Notoriously, he's a slow starter, gives an intentional escape. That makes it 9-3, Humpler. Humpler in deep again. Gets the takedown. That makes it 11-3. We're in major point territory. That's bonus point time. Dominating on his feet. Very late in the second period, they go out of bounds with 6 seconds left on the clock. Humpler with an 11-3 lead.
Not used to seeing Humpler start off this quicker. You, Voj?
Well, I just mentioned that, John, that he's notoriously a slow starter, but the adrenaline's flowing tonight, and he's been in control from the opening whistle. He's after extra points for the team. Generally, you look for your low man, your number 1 wrestler in the lineup, to explode, to give a spark. Humpler is a very methodical wrestler. His choice in the third period, he takes the neutral position. He may be methodical, but he's on a mission tonight. Humpler in deep again on a single, 11-3 lead. Third period, he's going to get another takedown. He's got the 2, that makes it 13-3. John, a full house here at Gloucester County College. They're standing room only.
No, we do not see a single seat here, do we?
I don't see any. I see Humpler giving the signal to give an intentional start, a freestyle start. So he gets the takedown, had 11-3 lead, 13-3 lead. He gave an escape. That makes it 13-4. He's getting another takedown. That's 15-4 with a takedown. Dominating on his feet, John. Dominating.
Voj, is he a pinner or should he look for the tech fall?
Well, it's very, very tough sometimes to pin a man that don't want to be pinned. I mean, that's happened to Humpler earlier this year. So, you know, he's been coached this year that if it's apparent that he's going to have too much trouble trying to pin the guy, he ought to try and work on his feet and go for the tech fall. Going for the near side cradle if he can get his hands locked up. Kovley doing a good job keeping his leg up in there, trying to block Humpler from moving around. He's being called for stalling of all things, but he's not making an attempt to get off the bottom. There's the near side cradle. Oh my, oh brother. He's got to rock him over. He's got to lean forward with his chest. He's going for it. He lost his grip, but that's a 3-point near fall. That makes it 18-4. 18-4, that's a 14-point difference. If let him escape, he's got to take him down to get the tech fall. He's in deep. He's in deep. He got the takedown to his back. Oh my. Is there enough time? Got him on his back. Oh, brother. Oh, my.
Tech fall.
Great performance by Humpler. 23-5. Tech fall in 6 minutes.
And as you know, Voj, Matt Humpler is the only wrestler to beat Joe Alexander in the last 2 years.
He's the only one to beat Alexander. You're right. He beat him in the duel last year, lost him in the regional finals. That's the second straight district championship for Matt Humpler. And that helps the cause for Paulsboro fans. That's 6 points. Kingsway's big guns are coming up in the lineup, so Paulsboro has to get as many points as they can get down the bottom.
Well, we're at 112, District 29.
100
Tim Pence of Kingsway, the surprise of the districts.
Well, this is it. This time, Tim Pence has been a super surprise. He walked into this tournament with a 7-16 record, seeded number 6. He knocked off number 3 seed Jesse Aquino on Friday night, 7-2. He's taken down. He beat Gus Caruso of Clearview, the number 2 seed, 8-2 earlier on Saturday. And now he's wrestling Greg Croce. Tim Pence of Kingsway is a freshman, 9-16, entering the finals. He lost Alexander. Greg Croce has 4 losses. One of his losses was to Joe Alexander. Pence lost 11-1. Croce lost 9-0. Croce's other losses among the 4 were to Jay Jenkins of Caldwell in the Caldwell tournament, 7-2. He lost to Bobby Ingram of Cox, Virginia, 7-2 in the Deep Creek tournament. He lost to Chris Banks of Collingswood, 8-2, up a weight at 119 pounds. And of course, Banks was a District 28 champion a year ago. And Alexander, of course, the other loss, was a state champion a year ago. Third place in this weight went to Adam Reed of West Deptford. He won 1-0 over Gus Caruso of Clearview. Reed was the number 4 seed, Caruso the number 2 seed. Greg Croce advanced by beating Dylan Shepard of Clayton with a fall in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. He beat Adam Reed of West Deptford 13-3 in the semifinals. 2-0,
Hey,
1:34 left in the first period.
Hey, and we can hear each other.
Finally, intentional escape.
Of course, I hear Roy Fenimore, and he's not out on the mat right now, but from time to time, we'll be listening to him when he's out on the mat. Another thing I wanted to mention, Voj, these are big matches when Kingsway and Paulsboro go head-to-head.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, there are 4 head-up meetings between Paulsboro and Kingsway in the finals, John. This is the first of 4, Croce and Pence. Jared Cooper, upcoming, will be wrestling Darren Boozman at 1:30. DJ Campbell will be wrestling Gristle at 135. And then this whole tournament may come down to the 215-pound weight class, where Warren Sharper, the number 1 seed, will be meeting number 3 seed John Reckert.
Barnyard.
That Barnyard.
50 seconds left in period number 1. Croce of Paulsboro has had a fine season, leading 2-1.
And John, one of the most unemotional wrestlers I think I've seen in a long, long time.
From Gateway.
Oh, wait a minute now. Somebody just won that 50-50?
From Gateway. Not,
I didn't even hear the numbers called. How do I know it wasn't my number?
it wasn't your number.
Oh, brother.
Your wife forgot to put your ticket in. $250. Not a bad, not bad winnings there.
And $2 of it mine. I bought a couple tickets tonight. Gee whiz.
I feel for you, Coach. 17 seconds left.
First period.
Croce is at a fine season. I think the key to his season, I mean, he's had a fine season, but the win against Manchio of Sterling, who came in undefeated, one of the top freshmen in New Jersey, and Croce beat him 12-6.
Croce after that takedown, he's got the takedown, he's got a 4-1 lead. He's got the half in, he's got the half, he's going to run out of time. Oh, my. There's another takedown, John, and Humpler led the way in the first period with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He had 7 takedowns on the way to that tech fall, John, and here's Croce with his second takedown. That's 9 takedowns between the first 2 wrestlers, and we haven't started the second period yet.
Yeah, Paulsboro very aggressive. I think they were very aggressive at the beginning of the semifinals too today when I was here.
Well, and I think their low weights are the key. That was the key to winning the state championship in Group 1. They just demolished Roselle Park when they met him in the state finals, and that's been the key to the whole season. You know, fortunately or unfortunately, they had a situation where they had 203-pounders. Johnny Haddock was the other one, a sophomore, who was in the lineup when they won the state Group 1 title, and everybody else bumped up. For this tournament, they dropped to the weights they were planning on at the beginning of the year, which bumped Jesse Thorne out of like a 130-pound weight class where he normally would be, and he entered this tournament at
145, I believe.
145 pounds, and guess what? He finished 3rd place, and he's gone to the Region 8 tournament. Jesse Thorne.
And you see some of the crowd waving.
Oh, they're waving at you or me, John? Oh, there's Irma. She must be waving at me. And John Rostelli, he was waving to you.
Absolutely. My favorite umpire of all time.
4-1 lead for Croce starting the second period. Croce in the offensive or top position.
I take that back. It was John Rostelli, Nippy DeMarco, and Ronnie Jones, my 3 favorite umpires of all time, because I don't want to get 2 more phone calls later this week.
You were mentioning earlier, and I'll reiterate what you said, Croce has had some great wins this year, but the win he had over Manchio, I think, kind of excited a lot of people in the Paulsboro gym. The Clinical Conference outright championship was on the line. Manchio came in, very cocky freshman wrestler, and Croce is a very sure freshman wrestler. I don't see that much cockiness in him, but Manchio came in really cocky, and they went round and round, and then Croce just leveled him by the end of the 6 minutes. Really did a number on him. They're going to be around for the next 3 years. Maybe they'll move into different weight classes, and South Jersey can share in that. You can see the troika of coaches in the Paulsboro corner. Paul Marina, Dean Duca, and Nicky Marina.
No surprise.
The Frank Liddy of the Gibbstown area. The referee in this match is Chris Hunder, the former Cherry Hill East wrestler, who was in the lineup when Paulsboro's consecutive win streak of 96 meet start. He had a pin in that meet. John, you know who he pinned?
What weight class?
He pinned at about 140 pounds, maybe.
Well, I'm not going to go.
One of Paulsboro's men in blue today. One of their finest.
Suter.
Freddie Suter.
Pence hanging in there, 4-2 with 1 minute left in the second period. And John, should he win, it would be an upset. But should he win, I guess he's got the most valuable wrestler award locked up.
Well, he certainly has come from out of nowhere, so to speak. Kingsway needed a couple hot hands in this tournament with Andy Vallejo coming in here after missing a few matches with the injury, and we'll talk about him later when we get to that weight class. He finished 4th. Unfortunately, his career ended here where it started so glamorously. Croce is battling neck and neck with the surprise of the tournament, number 6 seed Tim Pence of Kingsway. 4-2, Croce leading with 30 seconds left in the second period. You'll notice Croce likes at times to go upper body, Nick, and I've seen him dropped more than one wrestler on his back with that upper body move. He got a stalemate call.
Voj, was that a Freudian slip? You called me Nick.
Oh, sorry, John.
Yeah.
Nicky B is
Don't worry about it, Shryock.
the old partner, and I was told Nicky was coming home this weekend, but I haven't seen him, so if he's in the crowd, he's buried in there someplace.
I thought I was going to have the weekend off when I heard that.
We all know you're really John Mondelli in living color. End of 2 periods, 4-2. Croce Paulsboro with the lead. He's going to take the defensive position, the down position for the 3rd period. The assistant official on that is Orville Wilson, assisting Chris Hunter.
Orville is what, a principal somewhere in Burlington
He's
County?
a principal at Riverside High School.
It's a great soccer and baseball school.
And they won a Freedom Division Championship in wrestling last year. They did not win this year, but that was one of the better years they had in the history of wrestling at Riverside a year ago. Croce with a 4-2 lead. Giving respect to Pence, who's been the surprise dark horse in this tournament. You got a stalling call against Croce. Croce goes for the fireman's carry, but they're going to run out of room, it looks like. They're right on the out of bounds line. Switches off.
Trying to bring him back in.
Pence fighting him off. They go out of bounds. 1:06 left in the 3rd period. Croce is leading Pence 4-2. Croce takes a shot at an outside single. Pence virtually does a split there to try and defend against that outside single. Stalemate with 42 seconds left in the 3rd period. Croce is leading Pence 4-2. The top 3 in each weight class here, John, advance to the Region 8 championships starting Wednesday at Apsagami High School at 6 o'clock. They resume with the quarterfinals on Friday night at 6 o'clock. The semifinals at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, and the consolations and finals at 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon. 15 seconds left. Stalemate.
Of course, the following week, the state finals, and that will be on Channel 8, CNN to Comcast Network, the state finals from Atlantic City.
Hunter moving in as if he's going to call stalling unless there's a move made here. 6 seconds to go. Croce on the verge of winning his 1st district championship as a freshman. Both of these guys are freshmen. There's the stall call.
4-3. Croce will win it though.
Did what he had to do, John. He had to get a win. They'll both be back. Both are freshmen. So it'll be Glenn Croce, 212-pound champion. Tim Pence of Kingsway, the runner-up. Adam Reed of West Deptford, 3rd place.
We'll be back with more District 29 action right after this timeout. We hear you. We're back just talking to Roy Fenimore. We're making sure we can hear him. He was asking. Roy won't be shy on that mic, will we, Coach?
No, not a bit. In fact, if he wishes some personal regards out there, you know who he's talking to. We're coming up to 119-pound weight class. This ought to be a great match because we have undefeated Robert Becker of Clearview, the #1 seed, beating #2 seed, and once beaten Demian Green of Paulsboro.
And when you look at all the matchups today, this is probably the premier matchup.
Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Robert Becker, a junior. He has another year yet, 24-0 this year, 74-7 in his career. He was a district champion last year, 3rd as a freshman. He was 3rd in Region 8 last year. He has not lost this year. He has 9 falls, 3 tech falls, 7 majors, and 1 forfeit win. Demian Green this year, 26-1. His lone loss was about 2 weeks after he stepped off the football field, after he helped Paulsboro to his 62nd consecutive win in football. He went up to the Caldwell tournament. He lost in the Caldwell finals 5-4 at 125 pounds to Jeff Beverly of Point Pleasant Borough. And when you go to Atlantic City this year, you'll see Jeff Beverly there. He's a very good wrestler. Demian Green, 26-1 this year. He was 32-5 as a freshman when he was first in the district and first in the region. He was 29-6 as a sophomore when he was second at 112 pounds in the district and the region. He was 19-6 a year ago when he finished fourth at 119 in this district. And 26-1 this year. 96 wins, 16 losses in his career, John.
So he definitely has a shot at 100, but the wins keep getting tougher now.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And he got the takedown, 2-0. Demian Green.
Well, there again now, you know, people are going to say why? Why? Because he initiated the action. His body was in bounds from the knees down. When they went out of bounds, he was up above the knees on his takedown attempt. Even though the wrestler was in a sitting position, had there been more mat room, Green would have moved up and gotten firmer control, but he had what is considered control.
No escape, still 2-0 control.
And the crowd, many in the crowd, I guess, well, you're for Clearview or you're for Kingsway or you're for Paulsboro. The dissenting voices you hear in the crowd obviously didn't agree with the call because it was right on the line and no escape was given. Becker gets the escape inbounds this time.
This is one of the few times the Kingsway crowd will root for a Clearview, natural rivals.
Yeah, that's true. Conference opponents in that Tri-County League. Paulsboro, of course, from the Colonial Conference.
We're down to the final 15 seconds of period number 1. Green leads 2-1. And Vogue, I want to get into this a little bit later, but without a doubt, Phillipsburg's the number 1 team in the state. But I want to talk to you and ask you, who do you think the number 2 team in the state? It's a good, I'm sure a good chance that number 2 team is going to come from Region 8. Becker in for the single. Does he have time? No.
No time. 2-1, game to 1. To answer your question, John, if I could predict who's going to be number 1, I could be a rich man, because going into this weekend, 2 teams are tied for that spot in the Courier Post Poll, which is made up of writers from the Courier and coaches from throughout South Jersey. You see Green getting the bottom. Do I agree with the tie? Well, the tie is how it came out with the points. You vote for.
Oh, I know, but do you agree with? Do you think the 2 teams should be even right now? Do you think there's one team that should be number 1 and one number 2? Who is that?
Well, you put me on the spot, John. Whatever I say,
exactly.
I'm going to irritate some people. My opinion, honestly, I felt that Paulsboro had an edge going into that poll because they had split with Absegami, even though they lost on the mat 7-7. Washington Township beat Absegami, winning 6 out of 14 bouts. Yes, they went through a pressure cooker of Group 4, a lot tougher competition than Paulsboro went through in Group 1. But then Paulsboro went upstate, and they beat a Roselle Park team who they beat a Belvedere team, even though Belvedere was missing a 215-pounder. They held it close. They won the match in the last bout. Washington Township went against, they beat Huntington Central, who they had lost to early in the year. That was a strange stalling call. Avenger lost to Huntington Central, came in at 9 points to Phillipsburg, but Phillipsburg was missing, according to you talk to, anywhere from 2 to 4 starters in their lineup. I think going in this weekend, you look at the teams and see who comes out in the districts with an impressive team showing, and we'll see what happens. There's an escape for Paulsboro, 3-1.
And no, does not get the takedown
yet. Now he's got it.
That's one thing Green shows, and he did this against Rollins today in the semifinals. Lightning quick.
Well, he's lightning quick. Jared Cooper is lightning quick. Preston Hamilton at times has been lightning quick. They all work together with each other in the practice room, and they're going to develop those traits. The quickness is definitely an offensive weapon. Demian is on a mission this year. He's one of 4 seniors on the team. He, Jared Cooper, Gary Mendenhall, and Andre Robinson are the 4 seniors on the Paulsboro team. Demian has been through the wars. You saw when we announced earlier, had 96 career wins. He's been a district champion, a regional champion. He's been a runner-up in the districts and regionals. He's last year 4th here, didn't even make it out of the district. So he's been around. He's one of the leaders on the team, quiet as he may seem sometimes. He wants to go out with a precious gift. They retained their Colonial Championship. They won their Group 1 championship outright. He was one of the ones that wanted to win back their district. Last year, a streak of 25 consecutive district titles was severed by Kingsway. Green for one, wanted to play a role in them winning it back this year.
On the other side for Clear, a nice 1-2 punch for them with Becker and Gibbs.
Becker and Gibbs and Kovley's a nice wrestler. They have 5 or 6 nice wrestlers in their lineup. There's a stall call.
1 point for Becker, 5-3.
And Becker
backing up.
Becker is putting the pressure on, and Green is back in. Green has got to, you have to circle out there to keep the official from calling stalling against you. You can't back up out of bounds, and that's why the call came.
We'll try and get you an update on the team scoring as we go along.
Well, after 2 weight classes, Paulsboro had 2 first with a fall. They picked up 10 more points. As of this second, they have 209.5. Kingsway 196.5. There's an escape.
Now 5-4, so it's anybody's match with 1:50 left, 3rd period.
And Green has to become the aggressor now. He cannot play the line. He cannot back up. He's got to fire. He's got to go for the takedown. Number one is a great question, John, because Absegami has laid a claim to it. Lenape, who beat Washington Township prior to the Group 4 tournament, after Washington Township had made the tournament, they beat Washington Township on the mat. Highland wants to lay claim to it because they beat Washington Township head up on the mat in Washington Township's gym.
However, Highland got smoked, I think, by Southern, who Washington Township beat, correct?
Yeah, they did. They lost to Southern Regional, and Washington Township beat Southern Regional.
Big takedown for Demian Green, 1:10 left. It's 7-4. Now Green's got to get to the side because he has 2 stalls.
He has been hit with a point already, so he's got to there he goes. He's going to either work for the pin or let him go, which he let him go. 7-5 with 55 seconds to go. He has to keep the pressure on. He's got the circle inside. Referee Orville Wilson reminding both wrestlers that circle in the middle means wrestle in the middle. Becker down low for the ankle. If he picks this up, Green could be in trouble. Becker has him up in the air. Going for the trip.
30 seconds left.
Takedown. Ties it up. 28 seconds to go. 7-7. Green has to remember he's been hit with stalling. He cannot afford not to move in the bottom. They go out of bounds with 16 seconds to go.
Well, this match is definitely living up to its billing.
Yes, it is. Yeah, caution should have been called on the start there because the top man had his hand wrapped all the way around the elbow. And that kind of is illegal. But we'll see what happens.
4 seconds. 3 seconds.
3 seconds left on the clock. We're tied 7-7. Oh, brother. Everything has been built up to be. Timeout as you see Becker go over to his corner. John Marinelli, the head coach of Clearview. Billy Chiaffi is the assistant coach. 3 seconds to go, and John, this is headed for overtime. You see Paul Marine and Dean Duca talking to Demian Green. Paulsboro, of course, has to make hay down the bottom because Kingsway is going to make a lot of hay up top, John.
Especially in those middleweight classes. And as we look at Paul Marino, we mentioned he is now the all-time winningest coach Paulsboro wrestling history.
Yeah, they presented him with an award before this district final began tonight, and District 29 voting for Coach of the Year. There are 32 Coaches of the Year throughout the state, and he is the District 29 Coach of the Year.
We'll see how lightning quick Green is here on the bottom. That's what he's got to be to get out and win it and not force an overtime. And we're going to have overtime. Well, got a little blood too on Green.
We're tied 7-7 at the regulation.
Blood is coming from Becker.
And what happens in overtime, John, is they start on their feet with a 2-minute period. They go until somebody gets a point. That's a sudden death. First one to get a point wins it. If they go through 2 minutes and it's still tied, they flip the disc out there and somebody will get a choice, and they can either be top or bottom. If they're top and they ride for 30 seconds, they win the tiebreaker. If they're in the bottom and escape, they win by a point on the escape. The tiebreaker escape.
Oh, here we go.
Jimmy Rollins, by the way, was third place at this weight class by beating Mike Jimenez of Pittman 12-10. We're in overtime.
Becker on the single. He's got Green in trouble. Quick move by Becker. Green's in trouble. I think.
Oh, he's got an off in here.
Great move by
fighting
Demi and Green.
Hey, go out of bounds. Out of bounds. Still 7-7. Oh, brother. Out of bounds again. 7-7. 1:30 left in the 2-minute overtime period.
The stalls do carry over, right, folks?
Everything carries over. However, I will say it's very, very rare in overtime to see stalling called, although we saw it earlier today. We saw it in a semifinal where a double stall was called at heavyweight. That took it immediately to the tiebreaker. There was a flip of the disc. Kingsway won the flip of the disc, and Renard beat. Look at that spin behind.
2 points, Demi and Green.
Oh, brother. Lightning quick. 9-7 overtime. 48 seconds in overtime. Oh, brother.
Excellent match.
Oh, my. Two great wrestlers. Robert Becker's first loss of the year is 24-1. Demi Green raises his record to 27-1.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back right after this. Time out. We're back at Gloucester County College getting ready for 125 pounds. We just saw a great matchup at 119. Demi and Green of Paulsboro defeating Rob Becker, who had been undefeated at Clearview in overtime. Now to 125, Preston Hamilton of Paulsboro, 25-3. Jason Mercado, who finished 5th in the state last year, he is 26-0.
Here we go again. This is a rematch of a Group 1 match. Preston Hamilton, a junior, 25-3 this year. He lost to Micah Kahn, the state champion from Eastern, in the Caldwell Tournament Finals. He lost to Chris Smith of Cox, Virginia, 5-4 in Deep Creek, and he lost to Jason Mercado, 11-5 in the Group 1 semifinals. Mercado in deep. Overhook is in. No control. They're still neutral. Jason Mercado, 25-0 this year with 13 falls, 3 tech falls. 18-7 as a freshman, 24-7 as a sophomore, 28-6 as a junior. He's 95-20 entering this match. He was 4th in the districts as a freshman, 1st as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior, 4th in the regions his sophomore year, 2nd last year.
Mercado's got Hamilton's leg, got the ankle, and he's going to spin around. Looks like if he gets his head out of there, he can get 2. Oh, great job by Hamilton.
Fighting him off. Didn't happen in the dual meet that way. In the dual meet, Mercado got the takedown. Got a stalemate call by referee Roy Fenimore.
Vogue, this is probably the top. As a matter of fact, I think Mercado was in the top weight last year. Wasn't last year Mercado's weight class loaded?
Yes, that was the 119 weight class last year where Demian Green did not make it out of the districts.
Right.
You had Mercado, you had Zekman, you had Andy Vallejo. Great weight class last year.
And this year it was Hamilton, Vallejo, Gibbs, and Mercado. And Mercado needed a takedown with 10 seconds left in the semis this afternoon to beat Gibbs in that match.
Yeah, ended up beating him 3-2, but when he got the takedown with 10 seconds left, made it 3-1. Then he let him go, but he beat Gibbs 3-2. That was Mercado's only match before this one because they had to bye into the semis. Billy Gibbs had a 302 fall against Nick Guerrero of Clayton before he lost 3-2. And then Billy Gibbs came back and beat Andy Vallejo 7-1 for third place and will go to Absegami. What a shame for for Andy Vallejo, the hammer from Kingsway. He was injured this year. He missed 5 or 6 matches because of the injury. Stellar career, the winningest wrestler in Kingsway history with over 90 wins. And as much as Paulsburg people maybe like to see a Kingsway wrestler lose since they're going for this team championship, a lot of people I talked to felt very sad for Andy Vallejo that his career had to end in 4th place here. Preston Hamilton, the number 3 seed in this weight class, pinned John Conway of West Deptford in 147. Then he beat Andy Vallejo 6-1, but that was a close match until 2 seconds ago in that match when Hamilton got actually a takedown and a near fall with 2 seconds left.
0-0, guys, no score. Nobody's got any warnings yet.
To end up winning 6-1.
Come on, Red. Come on down.
Matter of fact, we can take the matches off that Fenimore's on.
Yes, we can. Hamilton on top, Mercado in the stand-up.
Take him to the mat, Red. Not out of bounds. Hold still. Hold still, Red. Okay, come on, Red. Too soon. Hold still. Let him get set. Okay, Red.
Mercado with a quick stand-up. Hamilton's got to do something to take him to the mat. Here comes the escape attempt by Mercado. Hamilton drops right down to the single. Picks it up. He's got to try and take it. There he goes. You got to get him back to the mat. Mercado never stops moving on the bottom, John. Never stops moving. When Hamilton last week, John, in a Group 1 state final, he wrestled Craig Frost from Roselle Park, who was undefeated at the time and a 3rd placer in the state last year. And Hamilton beat him pretty good. There was only one span in that match where he didn't retain his focus and Frost scored on him. Otherwise, he pretty much dominated the match. So when he is focused and when he's aggressive, that's when he seems to do his best. Pittman is going to get loose and get the escape with 54 seconds left in the 2nd period.
And Mercado quickly on the leg.
Well, because you have to stay aggressive, you have to be right on top of it. There's going to be a takedown.
Got the 2. 2 green, that's Pittman.
Down. That Wizard's not doing it. You're on top. Yeah, you're down. The Wizard wasn't doing any good in your butt. You're down.
There you see the explanation. A lot of times people will say when the person being taken down has the overhook or the whizzer in, that's fine if you're side to side. You're hip to hip, the whizzer will save you. If you got the whizzer in and the guy has knocked you off your pace and has you on your butt as you out of bounds, he's going to get the takedown call. Then you can hear the referee warning Mercado to stay in bounds, take him to the mat in bounds. Mercado very focused.
Hamilton had Mercado in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, he's got in trouble. He got a reversal. He got back point.
No back points.
Did not get a 2 count.
It's 3-2.
2 takedown.
Got a reversal only.
Red's in control. Red's in control.
Got to watch out though. Mercado fighting back.
Neutral. 1 win. Neutral. No back.
Mercado gets out.
All right, we got 4-2, Mercado in the lead. You can hear Roy Fenimore saying following that reversal, there was no back points because they only had a 1 count. You have to get a 2 count. Third period starts.
Red choice.
Mercado leading 4-2. Paulsboro choice.
Defense.
Takes the defense. What a great match, John. Great match. 25-0 against 25-3.
Watch that arm, watch that arm, let's work.
Mercado, very focused, was asked a couple weeks ago about being in the same weight class with returning state champion Mike Economistron. He said simply, if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. Mercado hopes to go to college to wrestle next year. He is a senior. He's just hanging out with his friends and spending time with his family. That's his favorite pastimes.
And he has the 4-2 lead. This is the second straight undefeated wrestler we've seen. Hamilton appears hurt.
Off the back, I don't want to run a 90 degrees. I'm called potentially dangerous. You're picking it up. You keep it flat on the back. Let's go. Here we go, Ray.
The explanation for There's the explanation for why he stopped that bout. He didn't call it illegal. It could have become illegal, so he stopped it by calling potentially dangerous.
I watched, that's why I stopped.
Okay, we're now into the 4th weight class, John, and at this point, with Paulsboro winning, with Paulsboro winning 3 matches, they now have 213.5 points, Kingsway 196.5. And I was kind of laughing. I overheard a conversation there with Dean Dukas saying to Fenimore about the potentially dangerous. He said, you called it illegal in the Kingsway match. Great balance by Mercado. 1 minute to go in the 3rd period. Mercado with a 4-2 lead.
Keep working.
Everything Hamilton has tried, Mercado isn't an answer for it. Hamilton has to come up with a bag of tricks here, John. 45 seconds left. He's losing 4-2. Mercado's been all over him like a blanket.
Yep.
Stalling, more for stalling.
That's on Mercado.
You're just riding that half. You got to do something with it.
Explanation again, why the stall? You're riding a half, you're not trying to turn him with the half, you got to do something with it. Hamilton has slowed the pace just a bit. It's got to explode, got to move. Out of bounds with 14 seconds to go.
Guys. Back here.
Almost out for an escape. Mercado holding on. Hamilton gets the escape.
5 seconds
to go.
Gonna run out of time. Jason Mercado goes to 27-0. The number 1 seed, Jason Mercado, stays undefeated, 26-0. He wins 4-3 over Preston Hamilton. Hamilton now 25-4, and Billy Gibbs will join them in Amsterdam. He's the 3rd place winner in this weight class. He beat Andy Vlecko 7-1. Well, do you know what I find surprising? only 3 undefeated wrestlers coming into this championship round. And now there's only 2 since Becker lost. Is that due to the fact that a lot of teams are now going in these tournaments? Kingsway participating in a big tournament. Paulsboro travels to Caldwell and the Deep Creek. And by the way, though, it's right there. Best uniforms I've ever seen. I thought West Deptford's football uniforms, the year they played Paulsboro and they came out with those black uniforms, were the best I've ever seen. It's got that 76er look there. You like it?
No.
No. Well, you're honest, aren't you?
Too gaudy. This is wrestling. This is not showboat. This is wrestling.
Oh, I got a great look.
The Kingsway Dragon.
Hey, I pay school tax in that district.
Well, you helped pay for it, though.
That looks good. If you're going to look good, I don't mind paying there.
Here we go, 130 pounds. Jared Cooper from Paulsboro, the #1 seed. Jared Cooper, 20 wins, 2 losses coming in this bout. He's wrestling Darren Boozman from Kingsway, the #2 seed. Darren is 23-3 entering this bout. Cooper lost this year in the Deep Creek tournament to Chris G. of Kempsville, 13-11. And he lost to Mike Hampton of Absegami in that January 10th Dolby. He lost by stalling disqualification.
My question is, how can you stall out in like 1:30?
Back up.
That's a lot of backing up.
A lot of backing up.
Short period of time.
Exactly what he did. He was just not focused that day. He is proven to be outstanding on his feet. Has great duck under moves, just like that, where he got the takedown. When he utilizes his speed, when he stays focused, he's very, very tough to beat on his feet. That particular day, he got an early takedown. The man escaped on him. The man came in, was very physical with him. All of a sudden, he started backing up, and he didn't stop. He backed up for a warning. He backed up for a point. He backed up for a point. He backed up for 2 points, and he backed up and was disqualified.
Now, we saw him against Kingsway. He had to go to overtime to win. Didn't look very impressive that day, but the Paulsboro's coaching staff telling me that he's really come on in the last month.
Well, and that's tribute to the Kingsway wrestler that told me, because the pressure was on. In fact, as we did that match, the only other match we did on cable this year, we did that match, and I remember remarking in that match 3 or 4 times I thought he had lost the match. And he was tenacious, he was persistent, and he got the win. I saw him in the Group 1 championships where he had 11, 12 takedowns in a bout. I mean, it's unbelievable. When he's on, he's on. When he loses focus, he's almost an ordinary wrestler. Darren Boozman, by the way, I'll review him real quick, John. He's a junior. He's 23-3 this year. He lost to Ryan Anderson of Absegami. He lost to Billy Gibbs in 1-1 on the tiebreaker in overtime. And he lost to Demian Green 8-4 in that Paulsboro Kingsway dual meet. 42-11 in his career. Jared Cooper, this is only his first full year of varsity wrestling, even though he's a senior, so he's 23-5 in his short career at Paulsboro. Brother Seneca, by the way, wrestling this weekend in South Dakota in the Junior College Nationals as a caution for Paulsboro.
Well, if I couldn't be in Deptford right now, that's the next place I'd rather be.
In South Dakota?
Oh, absolutely.
I can just imagine, John. You had to take tooth medicine just to be here tonight. Cooper takes the man up in the air, very carefully brings him down, because if you take him off the mat, you have to bring him back safely. If you don't, you can be called for a slam, and that's a penalty point. Third place in this weight class, by the way, one of my favorite names in the tournament, a Clearview wrestler, Phil Chetnevich, won by a fall over John Sakali of Deptford, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So Phil Chetnevich will go to the Region 8 tournament at Absegami.
And Vogue, you usually don't root for a wrestler to win, but just to say his name, you were rooting for him, I'll bet.
I was kind of hoping he'd be in the finals so I could say Chetnevich a few more times. But he lost to Darren Boozman of Kingsway 9-3 in the semi. And in one period, Cooper of Paulsboro is up 2-0. Again, every match is a key match, but the key matches when Paulsboro wrestles Kingsway are ultra important, because that's points that Kingsway can't get in their scoreboard that Paulsboro can. Cooper down to start the second period. Believe it or not, I saw him pull a 2-second reversal earlier this year. Second caution against Cooper. And one more time, and that'd be a point. There was a half a second escape, John. most wrestling fans know, but to remind everybody on cautions, the first 2 are free, but starting with the 3rd caution, every one is a point. Just saw Mike Croce on the sidelines over there, just demonstrating how Cooper got that half-second escape by coming off the floor and jumping to his feet as quickly as he could, trying hard to imagine how anybody could do it that fast. Timeout is an injury timeout. Cooper and Boozman banged heads. Boozman, I should say, not Bouzman, Boozman. They banged heads. They are neutral. 3-0. Cooper with the lead. Has to make hay on his feet. John, I don't think you can get it one more person in this Gloucester County College Gymnasium.
I was just thinking about that.
It's amazing. Over the years, the many tournaments we've had here, Paulsboro has had won 25 consecutive district tournaments until Kingsway dethroned them last year. And as usual, just like the New York Yankees of old, look at that duck under. That fireman's carry. Oh, brother.
Takedown.
Oh, brother.
Cooper, he leads 5-0.
That's the speed with which he's won the majority of his bouts with this year. He has great speed. Now what he should do when he's on top here, he should shut his eyes and listen for the whistle. He gets in trouble when he keeps his eyes open.
See how he works on the bottom.
As I was saying with the old New York Yankees, where people love to hate him, there's been a love-hate relationship here. Paulsboro's had a great following over the years and had some intense rivalries with West Deptford. Before that with Glassboro. Albert Sy, by the way, is here this weekend in town to see an aunt that's not feeling well, and he's a principal out in Chicago. He has a daughter that graduated from college. He has one son about ready to graduate from college, and a son who's a senior in high school getting ready to enter college.
Al Sy spent an evening in the Channel 5 truck when he was asked to leave the gym in one of the district tournaments in the early 80s.
Great memory you have. Great memory. Yeah, Albert got a little excited during the tournament, was asked to leave the premises, and I was clerking at the time and pretty much in charge of the inside here, and I can remember on the headphone somebody came over to me and said, Albert's out in the truck, now that the tournament's over, wants to know if he can come in, and my response was, when I leave this building, then he may come in this building. We wanted no more confrontations. We had a warning, green, and I presume that's Kingsway, a stalling warning. I don't see an ankle on there, but I would presume Paulsboro's red since they have the red uniform. That's the end of 2 periods, 5-1 to score. Boozman to the bottom. Jared Cooper 2 minutes from a championship, 5-1 lead. There's a point for a caution.
Joe Henry, the mat official in this match.
Well, it makes it 5-3. That's a point. Scoreboard doesn't reflect it yet, but that's a point, I believe.
I thought it was 5-1 coming in here.
Was it 5-1?
I believe so.
Okay. No, 5-2 is the correct score, but that Kingsway wrestler has 2 points, 1 for an escape and 1 for a caution.
Cooper trying to turn him by lifting him and turning him.
Kingsway is called for stalling.
They're second, so it's 6-2 now, Cooper.
It's 6-2. There's an escape. It's 6-3. 1:28 to go. Cooper cannot just back up like that. He's got to stay in the circle, and he's got to take his shots. He's got to take his shots. He backs up, he's going to get hit with stalling. It doesn't have a big enough lead. There's a stall warning. That's the focus. That's the focus I talked about. When he has focus, he's almost unbeatable. When he loses his focus, he becomes very average. Now he became the tiger again. The eye of the tiger prevails, and that shot Shoots again. Being aggressive. Less than a minute. Focuses and gets unfocused. The focused Cooper is very tough to beat. He has to keep taking his shots. Marine is standing on the side, urging his wrestler to take the shots. He can't back up.
Can you back up to the center?
Back up to the center. If you go out of that center, if you back into it, you're going to get called for stalling. 25 seconds to go.
Boozman with the leg, and does he have the takedown? Does not appear so. Back to the center. 13 seconds left. Jared Cooper up 6-3.
6-3, and if he hits you hit with stalling and gets taken down, we got a tie.
Right, this is another one of those head-to-head matchups between Paulsboro and Kingsway. Boozman again in on the leg, not enough time. 4-3, 2-1, and Jared Cooper will win his first District 29 championship.
His first
3 win.
His first and his only, because he is a senior, so he ain't going to win. 6-3. He will be first. Darren Boozman of Kingsway is second, and Phil Chetnevich of Clearview is third.
And we have another one of those Paulsboro-Kingsway matchups at 135. Jason Gristle, who is 16-11, will come up against DJ Kama, who's the number 1 seed, 24-3. We talked about Tim Pence of Kingsway, who at 9-16 came into the finals. Gristle knocked off Zach Bush, who was in the district finals last year. Pinned him, a matter of fact. As we look at the awards, where the awards are taking place, I should say, as we look at DJ Cam of Paulsboro, who's about to wrestle. Different look to these districts this year. John, no Woodbury, or at least on the team, I guess a couple wrestlers entered, right?
Yeah, it's sad. They had, of course, everybody's well aware by, I think by now, that Woodbury had to drop their program after Christmas for lack of bodies, lack of wrestlers. They were down to like a couple wrestlers after their Christmas vacation, and they were eligible to compete in the district, and a couple of them did, but they were eliminated. And this is the first time in many, many years Woodbury's going to walk out of a district championship with 0 points. A shame. Maybe the program will come back next year. They're discussing a possible co-op with Gateway.
Really?
Yeah. That has happened in other areas around the state. Emerson Borough and Glen Ridge, or I think Emerson Park Ridge, I believe, up north, has a co-op program going where they have combined their 2 schools since they're so low in numbers, and that is a possibility being looked into.
I guess the question here is then, would they be in the Colonial or Tri-County? What do they?
Well, if Woodbury combines with Gateway, they're both in the Colonial.
Oh, Woodbury. I thought you were talking Glassboro.
Yeah,
okay, Woodbury and Gateway. Okay.
Yeah. Jason Grissom, by the way, 16-11 entering this match. He's a junior. Dominic Kama, a DJ, of Paulsboro, 24-3, and he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. Now, DJ lost to Nick Catone at Brickman Memorial in the Caldwell tournament. Catone was second in the district, fourth in the region last year. And he lost twice in the Deep Creek tournament to a wrestler from Cary, North Carolina, and to a wrestler from Lake Taylor in Virginia. So those are his 3 losses. So they're all out of the area. They're all out of state. Jason Grissom has 11 losses, and among those he's lost to are John Brienza, Mike Hampton, the Absegami wrestler, Brian Green of Pennsville, Keith Trimble, Washington Township, Jody Gurich and Blair, and that Beast of the East tournament you mentioned earlier about where some of the teams have gone this year. DJ in on a takedown. He's got a takedown. He's got back points to go with it. Oh, brother, oh my, here we go.
5 seconds left, however.
He's got time. He's got it tight. He's got it tight. He's got it tight.
Not enough time.
That's not but he gets 5 big points. Takedown, near fall, 5-0 lead.
I'm going to get to some questions that people ask me. I know you're the man with the answers. How many matches does a wrestler have to wrestle during the season to compete in districts?
0.
Okay. The answer's that.
0. Clayton is in this district. A couple years ago, they did not have a program. Did not have a program. Did not wrestle 1 dual meet. but they had a wrestler in the district. They are assigned by the state, the NJSA, to be in a district. If they have a program, even though they don't have any matches, they can still compete in the district.
I believe St. James was like that last year then,
Well,
right?
St. James last year started the program and they dropped it right at the beginning. They had a wrestler who went over to Pennsylvania or Delaware and wrestled, but it was deemed illegal by, it's upper body throw that DJ's been using a lot. It's a takedown, 2-point takedown. They're going to go out of bounds. Mentioning that the wrestler wrestled in Delaware.
Jason Land, I believe.
Jason Land. And when Delaware said, well, you just really can't do that. You didn't change residences and so forth. He had to come back to Jersey. He had a choice. He could stay at St. James, who had no program any longer, or he could go, I believe it was, to St. Joe of Hamilton. He didn't have any choices. He could not go to Pence, could not go to Paulsboro, even though I forget where he lived, whether it was Giftstown or I'm not sure. You might remember.
Don't remember.
Okay. But anyway, he wrestled in the districts, qualified for the regionals, and remember when we talked about him in the regionals, he had won some matches in Pennsylvania, and even though they did not count, they were put on the board just to let people know that he had competed. And he came very close to winning his first match down there on a Wednesday night. Did lose, but he didn't compete. In his weight class, by the way, Dominic Kama was the #1 seed. He had a 155 fall against Matt Austin of Pittman. Hit a 13-2 major over Eric Eisenhart of Clearview. Jason Grissom, the #3 seed, advanced 6-5 over Rob McGinnis of West Deptford. Then he had a match with Zach Bush. Zach missed part of this year with an injured hand. He was a district runner-up last year, and he had let Grissom go. It was 3-3. Let Grissom go to try and take him down. It was 4-3. Grissom took Bush down right to his back and pinned him at 5:41. So Grissom beat Zach Bush, who had won his first match for the first period fall against Brian Bruno of Clayton. And then in the consolation, Zach Bush tech fall Eric Eisenhart of Clearview. So Zach Bush will be going to Region 8.
We have 16 seconds left in the second period. DJ Kama in control 7-1. And this is the third meeting between a Paulsboro wrestler and a Kingsway wrestler. And Paulsboro's won the first two, and Kama has
him in trouble. Oh my. I thought I saw a back count by Chris Hunter there, but it now indicates they were out of bounds. That makes it 9-1 after 2 periods. Kama, that's a major decision at this point. Marina offering some encouragement.
I must say, by the way, an excellent job between you and Fred Booker in the truck, updating this team score as we go along.
Well, you can get confused sometimes in the final, but Paulsboro right now, 217.5. Kingsway 196.5. But don't forget, Kingsway's big guns are coming up, and they're all very capable of getting bonus points. Intentional escape for Kingsway. That makes it 9-2.
You look down the line and see what Paulsboro has left, and no given at 189. Sean Hendricks is 22-0. He goes up against Troy Bennett, who's 24-3 at 189, and then at 215, John Record and Warren Sharper. I believe those two wrestled in the dual meet. Sharper won. I know Record was injured going into that match. But, so we don't know what we can see there. That might be something different this time.
Well, Record's been wrestling like a man on a mission here because he beat Matt Friel of Clearview, who had beaten him in a dual meet. In fact, I think that's where Record was hurt the first time. So, got a double stall warning. Seems like Chris Hunter has done that on more than one occasion in this district, a double stall warning. And, well, whatever.
Kama works behind for the takedown, so he's back to that major 11-2 lead. Now it's 11-3 on the escape.
11-3, it's still a major decision at that point. Oh my, upper body throw, and he's got the takedown. Got the takedown, of course, with the other man out of bounds, not going to get backwards out of him. The takedown was the key. And that's 1, 2, 3, 5 takedowns, John. Of the 13 points, that's 5 takedowns. Dominic Cameron last year was 24-6 as a freshman. He was 3rd in the district. This year he is 24-3, so that makes him 48-9 entering this bout. Jason Grissom, 7-6 as a freshman, 13-12 as a sophomore, 16-11 this year. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, time is winding off, 13-4 the score, it's major decision territory. No takedown, but that's a final, 13-4. Dominic Kama, champion. Paulsboro's 5th champion in this District 29 tournament so far.
Well, the Paulsboro crowd knows that's big points. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kingsway's big hitters coming up.
3rd place from Clearview High School, Phil Bennett. The 140-pound championship.
We're back at Gloucester County College as we get ready for 140 pounds. John Mondelli and John Vogeding and Kingsway's heavy hitters coming up here for Kingsway. They have coming up Kelly, Loeb, then we'll have a break at 152 before they come back in with Matt Hoover, Dovish, up through 171. So Kingsway, this is where Kingsway's got to make their run if they want to get that crown back and win their 2nd consecutive district title.
And that's four weight classes where they're capable of getting 24 points in total, capable of, that's maximum. And if they were to get 24, how's my math? That would bring them up to 220 points, 220.5. And Paulsboro right now going in this bout has 222 points. So interesting.
Kelly coming in at 19-8.
All right, we got a takedown by Pittman. Pittman with the takedown. Jamie Jimenez likes hanging out with Wiz, whoever Wiz is.
Well, you'll see that a few times from the Pittman wrestlers.
Hanging out with Wiz?
Wiz must be very popular.
Okay.
Still close. Anyway, Vogue, I was going to call you Bob. See that now? We definitely are. Wiz is a very popular guy in Pittman. What I was getting ready to say.
All right. You know and I don't. Jamie Jimenez, anyway, he likes hanging out with Wiz. Jamie, 23-3 coming in here. The important thing about this, John, he has 3 losses. All to the same guy. Andy Romano of Woodstown. He lost 6-2, he lost 5-2, and he lost to him by fall. So he's 23-3, but he's only lost to one guy. Ricky Kelly is a senior, as both are. Ricky Kelly, 20 wins and 8 losses this year. He lost down in the Beast of the East tournament. He lost to Lay Black, the undefeated phenom from Absegami, who was the state champ as a freshman. You're going to see a reversal coming up here, I think, or an escape. You got a reversal. Kind of hard to believe with the overhook in there, but 2-2 is the score. He also lost to Scott Cox. I'm not sure if that was in that Beast of the East tournament. Now, you mentioned earlier about some of the early season things these guys did. Kingsley was in that Beast of the East tournament this year. I think it was a 32-team tournament down in Delaware to open the season and did very well. They came in around 12. Kingsway lost to Paulsboro and Washington Township during the season. And of course, the only undefeated team in the state last year was Pittman. And this year they defended their state Group 2 championship. This weight class, Ricky Kelly, the #1 seed, he pinned Lance Eisenhart of Clearview in the first round. He beat Brett Holmes of West Effort at 16-5 in the second round, so he got bonus point pin in the first match. He got major decision bonus points in the second match, and he's now in the finals. Jamie, 21-3 entering the tournament, beat Tim Ware of Glassboro 6-2 and beat Gary Mendenhall Paulsboro 3-2. That match was 2-2 with about a minute left when Mendenhall 105, in fact, when Mendenhall allowed Jimenez to escape, going for the takedown, could never get it in that last minute 5 and lost 3-2. Mendenhall, by the way, yeah, there wasn't, John. Mendenhall, by the way, came back and was leading 2-1 against Brett Holmes of West Deptford after 2 periods when Brett had to injury default. So Mendenhall is 3rd place in this weight class and will go to Absegami.
I think I saw Holmes on crutches a few minutes ago. West Deptford obviously not very successful in this tournament, advancing just 1 wrestler, but they have a lot of good freshmen coming up.
Yeah, they're very young, John, and I think, you know, they're in a lull now. It's happening at Glasgow. It happened at Woodbury. You see Kelly going for the tilt here by barring the arm, trying to turn his man, expose the back. Ricky Kelly, when I saw him a couple of years ago, I kind of thought he was very good with the legs, but he's very good with more than just legs. Jared, people walking by getting handshakes from the populace.
I can't tell if it's Jared or Seneca, except for we're not in South Dakota.
And he has a ball for uniform on, which Seneca can't wear anymore. 2-2, second period, 1:15 left. Ricky Kelly on top with the dragon on his back. Jimenez gets the escape. 3-2, Pittman.
Hey, bring back riding time.
They have it in college, John.
Saw one match. I actually had a chance to see Penn wrestle Lehigh this year.
Penn will have 2 South Jersey wrestlers in the lineup next year, I believe. Brett Matter will be back from his injury year.
Kevin Rucci, right?
He's on medical redshirt this year. And Kevin Rucci from Eastern has all but signed, sealed, delivered to the University of Pennsylvania. Expects to be their starting 118-pounder next year. Oh my. Oh my.
Kelly has Jimenez in trouble. Fights it off. Takedown, however. 4-3.
Went upper body with him and lost that battle. 4-3. Kelly in control. Second period running out.
Which gives me a chance to ask my next question. Ask the expert, we call this. A lot of people were asking, since Kingsway won districts last year, will they be hosting the districts? This year, obviously not. How do they choose who does the hosting of the tournament?
The State Athletic Association has control of where these tournaments go. And it all depends on facility. Kingsway obviously could not hold the District 29 tournament at their building. If they did, half the crowd that's here tonight would not see it. So you have to have, as you see, the intentional escape. So you have to have a site that can host quite a few people, which is why you probably won't see it in Paulsboro's gymnasium, because even though they're larger than Kingsway, they're smaller than this gymnasium. Not by much, but they are small. So the State Athletic Association is the one that kind of finds out who's interested. You see a great takedown by Kelly, got in deep in the double. Builds his lead to 7-3. So the state is looking for a location that can get the amount of people in there that would make it beneficial to have it. And they're looking for a school that wants to host it. It's not an easy job to host it.
I wouldn't want that. Just asking, because it was asked to me.
It's like Absegami. Absegami has the Region 8 tournament, and they took it away from Vinyl because Vinyl had become so small and Absegami was so big. Everyone agrees that Absegami is a great place to have a regional tournament. You see a stalemate call by Orville Wilson. And now that Williamstown has built their new gymnasium, if they had additional stands, the state might be interested in letting them take it if Absegami wanted to give it up. I don't think the state will ever take it out of a location unless that location says, we don't want it anymore. It's too much of a hassle. If Paulsboro Athletic Director Bob Frederick said, we don't want to run it at Gloucester County College anymore, we're really not interested in running it, then the state will find somebody else to run it. You watch in a couple years. If Williamstown gets seating in there like they would like to get in there, we would have more seating than Absegami, and you might see a switch. Great deep double by Kelly again. All the confidence in the world on his feet. That makes it 9-4. And he's going to win a district championship. Kingsway's first in this District 29 tournament. 9-4, 9-5, 9-5 the final. Late escape, Ricky Kelly, District 29, 140-pound champion.
Decision at 140 pounds, Rick Kelly from Kingsway.
We're going to go to 145. Kevin Logue, who's a returning district champ. Out of Kingsway.
Give you an update on the scoring, John. At this point, Paulsboro has 222 points. As we enter this next weight class, Kingsway has now reached 200 points. They have 200.5. As we go in the 145-pound weight class, let's see returning champion Kevin Logue against West Edford's Maurice Tunstall, an impressive freshman. Kevin Logue, a senior, 23-4 this year.
Let's get these jokes from Fenimore talking to us.
23-4 this year. Logue was second as a freshman, second as a sophomore, first as a junior. Has a career record of 87-20 entering this bout. Tunstall, the freshman, 18-7 this year. We won't go through all his losses, but one of the losses he had was to Kersner of Gateway, 14-11, a close loss. Logue advanced to the finals with a tech fall over Bob Bem of Deptford. He pinned Jesse Thorne of Paulsboro in the first period. Maurice Tunstall, the number 2 seed, won 7-0 over Mike Down of Pittman, and then beat Ed Counselor of Clearview, 9-7 in overtime on a takedown, 48 seconds in overtime.
A little excitement over there in the sideline.
What happened?
You got to be watching, Vogue.
I'm trying to read something to you. Jesse Thorne of Paulsboro, by the way, John, came back and beat Ed Counselor of Clearview 4-2. And Jesse Thorne, who wrestled 130 and 135 pounds for Paulsboro, and occasionally 140, because of where the wrestlers settled into their weights for this tournament, ended up at 145 pounds and got a 3rd place.
And I think last year, didn't he wrestle 112, 119, somewhere there?
Yes.
Not Gristle.
Roy Fenimore, the official. Joe Henry, the assistant on the mat. No score, 1 minute left in the opening period. Kevin Logue, the defending champion, against freshman Maurice Tunstall. Logue claims his favorite pastime when not wrestling is sleeping.
A lot of people, that's their favorite pastime.
There's a great single leg sweep by Logue and a takedown. Paulsboro with 5 champions, 103, 112, 119, 130, 135. A 2nd place at 125. Oh my, oh brother, look at this. Kevin Logue has Tunstall in lots of trouble. Getting a back count.
Gets at least
Tunstall
3.
fighting off his back. 3-point near fall. 5-0 with 18 seconds to go.
Makes me this way, man.
I got to save a little of my milkshake here, John, to take my pills at 9 o'clock. Best part about doing the district tournament is getting a Don and Birch milkshake.
I was gonna lead you into that. I actually had my milkshake in about 30 seconds. I drank it once you told me it was here. So mine's been gone since about 5:30.
District 29 seating meeting was at Paulsboro High School on a Monday night before this tournament. And they cater a very nice food for the coaches for the seating meeting. And who walks in with about 15 milkshakes but Donnie Reed? Milkshakes for all the head coaches.
Hey, that's the place to go. Not enough time for Tunstall. 5-0 lead for Logue after period number 1.
The returning defending champion, Kevin Logue. His 4th appearance in the district finals.
You know what, Vogue, you just brought out the Wrestling Bible.
Well, just curious here, Tim Narcissi, remember the Narcissi twins?
Absolutely, they had that great run.
Tim Narcissi of West Deptford beat Kevin Logue 5-3 in 1995. In 1996, Scott Siebert of Pittman, remember him? Scott Siebert beat Kevin Logue 11-1. Last year, Kevin Logue beat Zach Bush of Gateway 6-5. So, not bad company for Kevin Logue. What a great career. Yeah, I cart that around and a lot of stuff in there, but we just don't seem to have the time to keep referring to it. One thing, there's an escape in Tunstall. One thing I was going to mention, had Hamilton won his weight class, the family that's got the most wins in district history is the Hamilton family with Marvin, who's Preston's father, started in 1966. He had a 123-pound champion in 66, a 130-pound championship in 67. Then Tyrone came along and won in 71 and 72. Then Jeffrey came in 73. Jeffrey came along and won 4 times. 73, 74, 75, 76. Oh my, oh brother. On the line, anybody yet? Nobody yet? Out of bounds? Nothing.
The thing with that is Logue didn't panic.
Yep.
Still neutral,
That's that experience. Following right along, Jeffrey, a 4-time champion, and then Bryant came along and won in 78 and 79. The fact is, there are only 28 4-time district champions in South Jersey history. Jerry Valecco, Andy's father, was the first one in this 4-time district champion. As you say, see a takedown and back points. Come on, Kevin Logue.
And we get a nice shot of it.
Oh, brother,
That's a pin.
what a pin. 3 minutes even.
That's big points for Kingsway on the pin by Kevin Logue.
A defending champion.
District champion, 145.
Defending champion. 6 big team points for Kingsway. Kevin Logue, the champion. Maurice Tunstall, the runner-up. Jesse Thorne, the 3rd placer at 145 pounds.
John Vogeding's a bum. I think that's true. Gotta love a wireless microphone.
Listen, how can you trust a guy from Gloucester Catholic?
From Gloucester, Gary Mendenhall.
That's Joe Henry, not Fenimore.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, that just was 6 big team points for Kingsway, John, and by my figures, that gives them 206.5. Paulsboro with 222.
40 pounds from Kingsway High School.
And here we have the updated scoring.
Right to the moment for the viewers. Oh, brother, what a nice move by Kevin Logue.
Glassboro down the bottom at 2. Not used to seeing them there. And speaking of Glassboro, some of my favorite people, as you know, Coach, I resigned from Comcast February 11th, but I'm helping out tonight. But in all my years here, I met a lot of great people. But the Psalms from Glassboro, 2 of the greatest people, and their son Mark, who wrestled for a while before he was injured. I think you did a nice article on him last year. They're here tonight, big wrestling fans in the county.
Well, that's the thing that's nice to see a takedown by Jim Morrisy. This is Jim Morrisy of Pittman at 152 pounds, the number 1 seed. He's wrestling B.J. Kersner of Gateway, the number 2 seed. I'll go back to the Psalms in a minute, John. Just review these guys that are wrestling. Jim Morrisy, 19-5 this year. His losses are the Whipple of Washington Township, Kevin Young, John Wenger, B.J. Kersner, and Eric Marnell. Those are his losses, and of course he's wrestling B.J. now. B.J. lost to Morrisy, so they split with each other. He lost to Eckert of Haddon Heights, Hines of Collingswood, Helms of Haddon Township, and Eckenrod of Pennsville. B.J. 18-5 this year, Morrisy 19-5. B.J. 47-26 career, Jimmy Morrisy 57-35 in his career. And of course the 3rd placer in this weight class was Ryan Logue. We just saw Kevin Logue win a district title. Ryan Logue won 3rd place by beating Dustin Burke of Clayton 16-7. And we almost had a Clayton wrestler advance to the regionals, John, and I would really have to go to the history books to find out the last time that happened.
Well, this is definitely a big event now, Village. Boyd Sands is here. Of course, he's the head of the NJSIAA.
He's the executive director, and you'll find Boyd virtually all over South Jersey. I was up at Princeton the last couple of weeks for indoor track, and Boyd was up there and observing what was going on. And I see him in the outdoor track season. I see him at baseball games. I see him at basketball games. I'm not a real big basketball aficionado, but I have seen him there when I've made an appearance.
I'm surprised you know what a basketball is.
Well, it's something round, and people with underpants on it play it or something like that. I don't know. Or swimsuits. Now, hey, listen, Paulsboro won a basketball championship this year.
That's
Colonial
right.
Conference championship. So you had Paulsboro end up with 62 wins in a row in football and win a championship. You had the wrestling team win the Colonial championship, and you had the boys basketball team win the Colonial championship.
And your son from Paulsboro win the Wing Bowl championship. Not too bad.
Big rig. Big rig. Won an all-expense paid trip to Aruba by demolishing 164 wings, was it? That was a lot.
Tell you what, I could go for a couple tonight. Maybe.
Oh, look at this move here. Will he have time? Will he clear the leg? No. And you get a back count coming.
Did he get something?
2.
Yeah.
There was very, very close to a reversal by B.J. Kersner. Morrisy didn't panic. He almost came what looked like a Peterson coming through on it and got backwards. Of course, it's going to be points for a reversal because he was never reversed.
And it's strange looking at Gateway this year without seeing Dave Brown on the side.
That's true. Dave retired after last season, and
Actually, he's across from us, actually, at the
is
scores table.
at the scores table, working on the clocks. And Dave Ormsby is the head coach now of Gateway. His brother Chris is the head coach at night. So we have brother combinations in the Colonial. The Ormsby brothers. From Maple Shade originally. Of course, Pittman being coached by Wayne Rochelle, young Wayne Rochelle. We remember seeing him here winning four district championships. Yeah, 4 district championships, and the last one, of course, that he won was in 1987. He won 1984, 85, 86, and 87.
Morrisy with the takedown. He's up 8-2.
8-2 for Morrisy. Dominating.
Pittman, a team that qualified for the Group 1 playoffs.
And
Bircher in trouble.
And they beat Palmyra, the Burlington County Freedom Division champion this year. We got a possible pin. Very close. Oh my, oh brother, that's so close. Near side shoulder goes up. Near side shoulder goes down. Far side shoulder comes up. They're both down. Oh brother. See Joe Henry saying it's close, and there it is. And we'll never know what the time is because the clocks are out. Oh, believe that. Believe that. Oh brother. I have no idea what the time of that fall is. The clocks are blank. They're dead. Oh, brother.
Call that backup generator.
Oh, brother.
Well, we're going to take a break. We'll get the clock situation straightened out. We're going to move ahead when we come back. 160. We're back at Gloucester County College, and there's Mr. and Mrs. Som. Actually, I had Mrs. Som on Sports Week when I was allowed to do that show way back when I had a show. Because she talked about nutrition. She was over at Gateway at the time. Looks like the clock's working, Voj. Everything's lit up. I hear the buzzer. We see the team scoring once again. We'll update you. Paulsboro 222, Kingsway 206.5, Clearview 111, Pittman in 4th at 99, and then you see Gateway, West Deptford, Clayton, Glassboro.
I did that already.
Woodbury and Woodstown.
Woodstown's not in this district.
Woodstown's not in this district.
Used to be.
That's why they have 0. Why are they on the sheet? Left
They
on the
used to be
computer?
in this district, and it's on the computer that Steve prints out, so Woodstown still appears. He hasn't reprogrammed the computer
Okay,
yet.
that's Steve Anishevsky, ANUSZWSKY. Just sent all the mail to his attention.
I'm told it's pin time, and that last weight class was 3. Now, you notice on my sheet here, John, I have 3:? 3:16 was the pin time.
We'll be able to sleep tonight now, folks. we know that. Hey, you get the pin. I could care less if it happens at 5:59.
100 pounds.
Who do we have, Vogue?
Matt Hoover of Kingsway, 25-3 this year, and he'll face Mike Bonich of Gateway, 17-5.
Hoover has yet to lose in South Jersey, or in New Jersey.
Yeah, he lost to all 3 times in the Beast in the East tournament down in Delaware the opening weekend of the season. So he's got 3 losses, all out of state. Mike Bonich has lost to Ware of Woodstown, Bullock of Haddonfield, Allen, A-Turn of Middle Township. You see a takedown coming up. Weeks of Audubon and Hoffacker of Pennsauken.
And apparently Boyd Sands went over, did some electrical work, and got that thing working, the clock that is.
Either that or threatened them to close down the district here. One or the other, something worked. Still no takedown, believe it or not. There's a takedown.
And Hoover leads 2-0.
Semantics, I guess. Third place in this weight class went to Dan McCleary of Pittman. He was the number 3 seed, and he pinned Jeff Franklin of Clayton in 5:52. Hoover, the number 1 seed, advanced with a 2:52 pin over Chuck Carroll of Clearview, and then he pinned Jeff Franklin in 1:15. Bonich, the number 2 seed, Techbald Scott Goldbrinson of Deptford, and beat McCleary 9-3. See an escape followed by a takedown. It's 4-1.
Hoover in control. We had a chance to see Hoover now. It just seems like he's been to Kingsway forever.
Well,
we know it couldn't be for more than 4 years.
Well, he's had a great career. 87 wins, 23 losses. He was the district champion last year, second as a junior. He was third in the region last year. And you know what his favorite pastime is, John?
Let me guess.
Okay.
Probably likes to probably inflict punishment on his fellow wrestlers.
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. He loves to wrestle Dovish in practice and likes hurting him. Interesting. Mike Bonich, on the other hand, likes to shoot, pool, and fish. He has no fish tonight. He has a shark. District 29, John, has done very well in Region 8 over the years, and with this contingent of wrestlers going this year, the light weights from Paulsboro, the upper weights, middle and upper weights from Kingsway, Mercado of Pittman, I think we're going to see some banner performances down there. By the way, update on some scoring here. Washington Township finished 3rd in District 30. Sterling was 2nd.
Highland first.
And Highland won the district.
So that probably does affect the number 1 ranking,
well,
you would think.
Yeah, if you listen to Frank Consiglio, the Washington Township coach, it has no bearing because he was making excuses before the districts saying that, oh, you can't count that because other teams can influence what happens in that tournament. Bottom line is, you put your 14 best wrestlers in a tournament, you win it against the caliber competition they were against. If you're number 1, you win the tournament.
I think Steve Anashevsky had an interesting point, and I don't know what you think about it, but keeping the team scoring in the regions and the states. I don't know if you can do it in the states, but do you think you can do it in regions?
You could. You certainly could. I mean, people for you. I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I mean, people can look for scoring anywhere they want to look for scoring. If you get 3 good wrestlers and you have 2 firsts and a second in the state, does it mean you're the best team in the state? You probably would have the highest score in the state, with 2 firsts and a second. The year that DeVault and Suter were for first place for Paulsboro, champions that year, were they the best team in the state? So there's always arguments. I think once you lose team competition, once you leave that area and go individually, I think it's a reflection of how good some of the individuals are on your team. But it's not really fair to some teams for you to take 8 or 9 guys into a region and they only get, if they're in a tougher district per se, and only get 3 guys there.
So are you a big fan of the district scoring then?
No, I think with the group scoring now, see, the district tournaments were set up way before group championships were set up. As you see a takedown by Kingsway. District competition is the first leg of winning an individual state tournament. The only way you can go to the state tournament as an individual is to qualify through your district. All right, so before districts, there were 4 locations in the state to qualify for the state tournament. Then they broke it up into 8 districts, then 16 districts, and 32 districts. All right. Now they have group championships. They started with just four sections of the state back in 1980. Then they went statewide in '83, I believe it was. Now you can win a team title in your group anywhere in the state.
Which I like that.
I like that very much. Now, in district competition, you could have a Group 4 school, a Group 3, a Group 2, all in the same district. Takedown by Kingsway makes it 8-2.
Of course, District 29 came out with a Group 1 and Group 2 state champs this year with Kingsway and Paulsboro.
Well, that's what you have here tonight, and that's why you have a lot of Kingsway and Paulsboro kids in the finals and are the top two teams in this district because they're both championship teams. They both won their conference championships. They both won their state championships, which is the argument against Washington Township. They did not win a conference. They won a sectional championship down south, did not win a state championship, and they finished third in their district. So that's where we're going to get some argument against them. Probably Absegami is going to win District 32. They won their Christmas tournament. They won their conference championship, and they're going to win their district. Where does that put them in the top 10?
So I guess next Saturday night at this time, about this time, we'll find out who the number 1 team, the Region 8, I should say. And I would imagine that the number 1 team in South Jersey is coming from Region 8.
Well, I would certainly think so. I mean, right now...
The only other two choices would be, Lenape, maybe. I don't think Eastern or Camden Catholic would be in there.
Lenape and Eastern are the same district, so something's got to give there.
Right.
We're starting the third period. It's 8-2 in favor of Matt Hoover, who's doing a very methodical, workmanlike job out there. Very strong performer. Third in the regionals last year. 87 career wins. See a stalemate call by Chris Hunter.
Hey, Coach, not that it matters who finishes second, third, or fourth, because obviously Phillipsburg's going to be number 1. But actually, Region A has a shot at maybe number 2, 3, and 4.
Well,
an outside shot.
I think St. Joe Montvale is going to pick up some strength upstate. You're going to see a stalling call, which comes with a stalling point. Then you see a takedown, so Kingsway gets a stall point.
Hoover's up 11-2 with 1:10 left.
Takedown. Now have major decision territories. That's an extra half a point for the team.
And Kevin Dovish waiting on deck.
Yep. Now, the only true way to answer number 1s is head-up competition if you can possibly arrange it. And again, you fall into this trap. You have your set schedule for conference matches. You have teams you've been wrestling for several years on your schedule. Who do you drop to pick up a team that's hot now? And do you keep doing it? Do you keep dropping teams off your schedule to pick up the hot team, the latest hot team? What do you do? It's a dilemma for an athletic director. See the intentional escape? As Bob Frederick go out next year and drop 2 or 3 teams off the teams that Paulsboro wrestled this year to pick up Washington Township and so-and-so. Paulsboro, I know Paul Marino would love to wrestle Phillipsburg next year. He was up there for the Phillipsburg Belvedere Absegami Tri, talked to Mike Rossetti, said, boy, I'd really like to get together next year. Well, can it be arranged? Well, we'll see. Stay tuned. I can remember when Milt Schisler was bragging about how great Pemberton was and finally got Paulsboro on the schedule. You see another takedown by Hoover and back points.
Coach, it's funny you bring that up because that's the first wrestling match I ever attended right here at Gloucester County College, Pemberton, Paulsboro. And you talk about a crowd. We had people wanting to pay us to watch the match from our truck.
There you go. Matt Hoover, the District 29 champion at 160 pounds, files final score of 13-3. Hoover finishes number 1, Mike Bonich in Gateway number 2, and Dan McCleary at Pittman number 3.
So Kingsway's on a roll. 3 of the last 4 weights, they've come away with champions. And Kevin Dovish, you would have to say, is the favorite here at 171 as we look at Matt Hoover.
I would certainly think so. Hoover, good job. 10-3 major decision, which means that they've closed the gap to Paulsboro to 11 points.
I still think it's the uniforms. And Vogt, I think you're going to be right. I think it's going to come down to 215. Record and sharper.
Could very well.
I know you see the Kingsway crowd showing their appreciation as Kevin Loeb announced the champion at 145 pounds.
Mentioning Pemberton and Paulsboro, John, that lasted all 3 years. Milchester wanted Paulsboro bad, got him on the schedule, lost to him the first time, lost on the second time, suggested they move the match back later in the year because they weren't really ready that early in the year. Third time they wrestled, Paulsboro beat them just as bad, and that was the end of it. Pemberton all of a sudden found somebody else for the schedule. So what do? Do you take the hot team that's going to be up for a couple of years, or do you go with long-term relationships?
Right.
Paulsboro had a long-term relationship with Vineland for years and years and years. Vineland dipped a little bit. Paulsboro replaced him on the schedule. Now Vineland's up again. Do you go back and get him on the schedule? What do you do? Here we go, 171, Kevin Dovish, the returning second placer. He was in the finals last year and finished second. Kevin Dovish is 25-3. He's wrestling Sean Johnson, who's been out with an injury part of the year this year. So therefore, he has a limited record coming into this final.
Wasn't Sean Johnson in the finals last year?
He's 8-2 this year.
I don't know. I think Dovish wrestled Craig maybe from West Deptford. I'm not even sure. I'm trying to remember back to last year. But you have your info there.
Joe Harry won at 145 last year. Hoover won at 152. And John Craig at West Deptford pinned Kevin Dovish in 308. John Craig's at York.
What about Sean Johnson
this year? Sean Johnson was in the finals against Dan Fackelman of Clearview and got pinned in the second period. Sean Johnson, a junior, his second appearance in the finals. Kevin Dovish this year lost to 3 times in that Beast of the East tournament to a wrestler from DeMatha, Maryland, Easton, Pennsylvania. Twice to the same guy from Easton. So he actually has only lost two guys this year. Twice to Chris Jones of Easton, 2-1 and 8-6 in overtime. So Dovish is having a great year, and of course you know what his favorite pastime is, don't you?
Yeah, hurting Hoover. Doesn't Hoover like to hurt him?
Hoover likes to hurt Dovish, and Dovish likes to hurt Hoover at practice. Plus,
he likes dancing the tango.
Well, I think that comes from his uncle Jimmy. Jimmy Gorman is Dovish's uncle, and he was quite the tango man when he was at Paulsboro High School back in the 50s. So he probably passed this along to Dovish. Dovish, by the way, quite a football player, is looking toward the Ivy League for next year. Sean Johnson, a junior, loves to play football. He'll be back next year.
A stall warning against Johnson, and Dovish in on the takedown. He has a 2-0 lead with 34 and counting left in the first period.
Johnson's 2 losses this year were to McBride from Williamstown and Thompson of Camden, as Dovish almost got his man on his back. 15 seconds left in the opening period. Kevin Dovish with a 2-0 lead. If Kevin Dovish pins his opponent here, John, Kingsway will have 217 points, only 5 points behind Paulsboro. And in one period, 2-0, Dovish.
Well, in second, let's thank our crew who's doing a terrific job. That's Bill Groves, our director, Mike Farinelli, Fred Booker also in the truck, Mike Evans, John Wurtenberger, and Mark Pravaccioli on cameras. A terrific job, and since I don't work at Comcast anymore, like, you know, I want these guys to call me back once in a while. I can make them some extra money. You know, what are we making? About $500 for this job here? Take my wife out for a night in Atlantic City.
There's an intentional escape to Deptford. So it's 2-1. Dovish stalking.
As well as being the new operations manager at the Gloucester County Educational Network, Vogue, I am also your agent. Is that true?
That's true.
I did some great negotiating this past week.
Great takedown by Dovish, starting to dominate the match now, 4-1 with a 1:32 left in the second period.
You know what impressed me about Dovish was the dual meet against Paulsboro, where he went up to 189 and took Troy Bennett into overtime and eventually beat Bennett.
Yes, on a Bennett shot. All 3 losses Bennett's had this year. He's been right in the match. He lost down the Deep Creek Finals to Musafi, who was undefeated and 15-0 at the time they wrestled, and Bennett lost 6-3. He lost to Dovish on a takedown in overtime, which he took the shot and was countered. And he lost to Ted Trump of Delran late in regulation when he took the shot and was countered. Great spin behind
Dovish, and he has Johnson in lots of
Oh
trouble.
my! Headlock time. Oh brother, he doesn't escape this. Oh brother.
That's 6 big points, Vogue, or that's big points. I shouldn't say 6 big points. It's big points for Kingsway.
They have closed the gap. 5-point difference now. 5-point difference. for Kingsway as the 4th Kingsway champion.
There you see it. Paulsboro with 2 wrestlers left. Kingsway with 2 wrestlers left. We go to 189, which is our next weight. Hendricks and Bennett at 215 will be Record and Sharper, which is a Paulsboro and a Kingsway going at it against each other. And then Kingsway with the heavyweight Jim Renard going against John Stroll.
We talk about these 2 guys coming up here, John. Troy Bennett of Paulsboro, phenomenal sophomore, 24-3 this year. Lost to Muhammad Yusuf of Cox, Virginia, 6-3. Lost to Kevin Dovish in overtime, 3-1, sudden death. And he lost to Ted Trump of Delran, 3-2. Outstanding wrestlers, 26-4 last year, 50-7 in 2 years of varsity wrestling. Sean Hendricks, 22-0 this year, has lost to no one. Was 4th in the districts as a freshman, 2nd in the districts as a sophomore, 2nd in the districts as a junior, 4th in the region as a junior, a sophomore, and 3rd as a junior. He has payback time for Sean Hendricks.
Of course, an excellent 3-sport athlete, just coming off football season, where he is the quarterback for the Spartans.
And the 3rd placer at this weight class was Steve Duncan of Gateway. He won 9-3 over Walter Jacob of Clearview. He will go to Absegami as the 3rd place wrestler. Bennett had a 37-second pin against Mike Houlihan of Pittman, a 17-2 technical fall against Walter Jacob of Clearview to advance to the finals. Hendricks pinned Jerry Stranix of Glassboro 50 seconds, and he pinned Steve Duncan of Gateway in 3:34. So you have 2 very aggressive, very talented wrestlers at 189 pounds.
And Hendricks, as we mentioned earlier, just one of 3 wrestlers coming into the finals. Unbeaten Rob Becker of Clearview lost to Demian Green at 119. And the other undefeated wrestler, Jason Mercado, he defeated Preston Hamilton of Paulsboro. He's now 27-0.
So we're down to 2 undefeated wrestlers in this tournament, and Sean Hendricks is one of them. You know, interestingly, every time, and I saw 3 losses, every time that
Stay in the center, guys.
Troy Bennett
wrestle right
lost
here in the center.
this year, he depended upon going in straight up on a double leg takedown attempt. Those are the times that he lost. When he's gotten out to the side on the singles or the duck unders, no one has come close to beating him. 1 minute left in the opening period. We're at Gloucester County College, 189 pounds, a full house, standing room only. Paulsboro and Kingsway neck and neck in the team race. Paulsboro has crowned 5 champions so far. Humpler, Groce, Green, Cooper, and Kama. Kingsway 4 champions, Kelly, Logue, Hoover, and Dovish. And Pittman 2, Mercado and Morrisy. Great District 29 tournament again, John. Love this time of the year.
And Bennett in, a little late.
Stay in the center wrestle, guys.
Well, both wrestlers being encouraged again by referee Roy Fenimore to stay in the middle of the mat. Bennett behind his man, picks him up, takes him down. 2-point takedown for Bennett. They go out of bounds.
And, you know, with 10 seconds left, you obviously don't want to give up a point here if you're Paulsboro.
Well, if you give up any points, it can't be any more than 1. You got to keep it to an escape, if anything. Bennett picks up the ankle, knocks his man down, follows. Still following. A nice follow by Troy Bennett. Sean Hendricks did everything in his power that time to get away, to escape. Bennett stayed right with him.
And with 1 second, he should be able to ride him out. And it's 2-0, Troy Bennett.
2-0 after 1. Takes us to the second period. Bennett's choice, he takes the bottom. Putting his double knees, trapping Bennett's leg. He's going to try for the tilt. Trying to break the plane. If he breaks the plane, he gets a 2 count. There comes the count on a tilt. Two points for a near fall.
Keep working, guys. Keep wrestling.
Hendricks very strong. Very strong.
Work up with a bottom. Work around like that.
Well, we're finding a couple things out. Either Hendricks is strong on top or Troy Bennett's not used to being on the bottom. Or both.
I think both. I think both. I think Bennett is used to being able to get up off the bottom, and Sean Hendricks had time clamp both knees around the near leg to trap the leg, and then use the armbar series to lock up Bennett upper body and got the tilt.
And of course, John, as you get to this time of year,
Put that hand on the elbow. Tie that shoe.
you're only facing better competition, so it's going to be tougher to get off.
Oh, there are no guppies to this point, John. As I've often said, when you reach this level, you're fighting sharks all the way. You can't let down. You have to have your plan of attack. Notice how Hendricks is on the back, and he's got both legs trapped on his knees. That prevents the man from getting into a stand-up position.
Let's wrestle on top.
Now he's got to get out the side, do something with it, or he can be called for stalling on top. At the same time, Bennett has to try and put up the bottom. Notice how he's straddling it with both knees, and that brings the stall call. He's trapping his legs with both knees, riding in parallel, and that brings the stall call.
Joe Hollywood, who knows a lot about tough matches, pressure matches, on the sideline for Deptford. Or should I say sideline, but on the mat. That evens it up. Stall against Bennett.
Well, I'll say what I always say. I don't understand stalling, and I never will. You don't want to reach back. You get in trouble when you reach back.
15 seconds, and Hendricks doing a great job on the top. Got his 2 points. Turning Bennett at the beginning of this period. We're tied at 2. And that's how we're going to end period number 2.
And Hendricks just rode Bennett for 2 full minutes.
Defense.
You might see Bennett let him go here early and go for the takedown on his feet because it's 2-2.
Both men have warnings. Both men have warnings.
It's 2-2. If Bennett were to let him escape intentionally here and then go and work with him on his feet and pressuring with a stall warning against Deptford, he could force a.
That's what it looks like he's going to do, Vos.
Yep, he could force a stall call.
Bennett up 3-2. Or Hendricks up 3-2.
Paul Marina.
Let me tie the match up or anything. Wrestle in the center here.
Paul Marina encouraging his wrestler for you to take the shot, meaning he's seen this happen before this year where his wrestler has been on his feet and has done some work and has not got a stalling call. Spins behind, takes his man to the mat,
Got the 2. And
escape.
we're tied.
We either gave 2 and 1
Or nothing.
See what he gave.
4-4, scoreboard has.
You okay with that?
Yeah, let's listen in.
Stop, and then he went with the switch.
Joe Hollywood wants to go talk to Fenimore.
He was behind, and then he went with the switch. We both encouraged.
All right, so you hear the explanation.
Neutral.
Heard the explanation. He did get the 2. He stopped him, and then Hendricks went immediately into a switch and got the escape on the line. So it was a 2 and 1. Now he's got to take him to the mat. There's the takedown. That makes it 6-4. Paulsboro. Here comes Hendricks with the switch again. He's going to get an escape again now.
Nothing hands, huh?
Well, he called him on him. Very close to an escape. He's going to give the intentional escape again. That's going to make it 6-5 with 1 minute to go. Bennett has to keep the pressure on. They both have stalling warnings. If Paulsboro wins this match, John, if Paulsboro wins this match, Kingsway would need a miracle to win the championship.
Bennett hit on the legs. Got the takedown. Now 8-5 with 38 seconds left.
And counting. Paulsboro wins here, John. They have 2:26. Kingsway would be 9 behind. With 2 wrestlers to go, they can still win. Intentional escape.
So Bennett obviously a lot stronger on his feet than he is in the bottom.
Well, but that makes it 8-6, and a Hendricks takedown would tie it up, send it to overtime. 25 seconds, battling on their feet. Bennett can't back straight out of bounds. He's got a stalling warning. He has to be aggressive. Has to be aggressive. 20 seconds to go. Bennett has to be the aggressor. He can't back up. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Shot by Hendricks.
Bennett's going to win. Troy Bennett of Paulsboro, an 8-6 winner over Sean Hendricks of Deptford.
That makes Bennett number 1, Hendricks number 2, and Duncan number 3.
We're going to take a break. Come back with the final 2 weights after this.
Now for the awards.
We're back at Gloucester County College. Here's the update. We're at 2:15. Paulsboro 2:26. Kingsway 2:17. If Warren Sharper for Paulsboro wins here, Paulsboro gets back the District 29 championship. And Vogeding came in, as we mentioned, with 3 undefeated wrestlers in his finals. Jason Mercado, the only one to leave undefeated.
And you know, we talked about Paulsboro getting back a District 29 title. Paulsboro has won 33 district championships in their history. Second place in South Jersey through last year was Highland with 19. If Paulsboro wins tonight, they'll have 34. Highland earlier won tonight, so they have 20 already. And I'm sure Lenape was in a hunt today, and they had 14. They were the 3rd one.
Okay, John Record of Kingsway 23-5. Warren Sharper of Paulsboro 23-5. As we mentioned, these wrestlers went up against each other in the dual meet. Record was injured in that match. Gutsy performance. I think it was his ribs, though.
Yes, it was. And Sharper won 5-3. One of 5 losses that the Barnyard has this year. The Barnyard is John Record. Record, as you mentioned, 23-5. He's a senior. He lost once in the Beast of the East tournament. He lost to Hendricks of Deptford 8-7. He lost to Sawyer of Delsey 9-3. He lost to Friel of Clearview 5-3 and Sharper 5-3. Sharper lost in the Caldwell finals. He lost in the Deep Creek finals. He lost to Absegami 4-3. He lost to Jason Jamison of Millville. He got pinned after leading early in that match 3-0. And he lost to Sawyer 2-1 of Delsey. Sharper is 31-16 in his career. Record is 57-21 in his career. Sharper, the number 1 seed. He pinned Ryan Kelly of Pittman in 30 seconds. He beat Bill Atkinson of West Deptford 6-2, a surprise move up. Originally, Atkinson was seeded at 189, but came into the tournament at 215. Record, the number 3 seed, beat Mark DePalma of Clayton in 53 seconds with a fall. Then he got a little revenge against freshman Matt Friel of Clearview, beating him 13-8. And Bill Atkinson beat Friel 4-2 in overtime to qualify to go to Absegami. Sharper, by the way, John, is at his best when he is in motion, when he is using his speed. When he ties up on the head and doesn't take his shots is when he gets in trouble. Big match for him. Very similar to the pressure it was on him when he wrestled against Matos of Absegami in the final bout of that dual meet. In that dual meet, Bennett wrestled 215, and they dropped their heavyweight down to wrestle Bennett. And then Sharper, who would have wrestled Matos, head up at 215, had they gone in that direction, wrestled Matos in what was the heavyweight bout, but they're both 215-pounders. So, big match back then for Sharper. That's when the two teams split 7-7, and Absegami won by 4 points. But Sharper's been on a little bit of a roll lately. Last week in the Group 1 state championships, he beat Appello from Roselle Park, a wrestler who had beaten him last year in overtime when Paulsboro and Roselle Park tied for the state championship. And that's the way it stayed, as a tie. When you go to reach that final spot, they consider them tied. 0-0 after 1. Sharper and a record.
So I guess, folks, break it down. What exactly Kingsway needs to win?
Well, they need, at this point, 10 points. They need 10 points, okay? So they need either 2 tech falls or they need a pin and a decision to win the championship. Escape for the record. And, of course, in the heavyweight bout, one more bout to go, Kingsway is in it, but it's the number 3 seed, Jim Renard, against the number 1 seed, John Stroll of Deptford, who was only 6-1 entering the tournament. There's a takedown for Sharper. That's when he's at his best, but he has to try and hold the man on the mat. John Sproul entered the tournament 6-1 because he had been out hurt since early in the year, and he hasn't wrestled a minute and a half yet. He wrestled 20 seconds in his first bout with a pin and 53 seconds in the second bout with a pin. So I would say Sproul is heavily favored at heavyweight. If Sharper wins here, the tournament title is clinched. There's an escape. 2-2 the score.
Record in on the legs.
Which is how Record really beat Friel in their match in the semifinals. Record beat Friel 13-8, and he beat him on his feet. He did a very good job on his feet in that match. This is where Sharper has to be focused. He has to keep the pressure on. He has to keep moving. He has to take the shots. Can't be content to tie up on the head of the man he's wrestling. Sharper has improved dramatically, John, since the beginning of the year. I see a different maturity level in him.
Where do you see him next year, Voj? Do you see him staying at 215 or heavyweight?
That's interesting, because for all intents and purposes, Paulsboro has a very good 8th grader coming up on him, Tommy Curl, who's done very well in the 8th grade level at heavyweight. He's a legitimate heavyweight. He's like 235 now. If Bennett grows and Sharper grows, somebody's not going to be in the lineup. Now, it may be Curl because he'll be a freshman and will have the maturity level to go. Friel certainly has this year.
Right.
As you see, at 2-2 after 2 periods, with Sharper down to start the 3rd.
Record getting the Kingsway people up.
Well, this is a point of no return for Kingsway. Sharper with a quick stand up, gets the escape. All in about 3 seconds. Looked like a Jared Cooper move. Now, you raise an interesting question because there are several scenarios with Paulsboro. You know, this year they were devastated by the fact that they had a wrestler who wrestled last year by the name of Michael Funk, who broke his elbow in volleyball in gym class. Look at this. There's a takedown. Oh, brother, just missed back points. No takedown given. Okay. Never called control. Never called control. Close to a takedown. Michael Funk broke his elbow in gym class. He was in the lineup last year. Tom Trexler had a shoulder operation. They had hopes he might be back by the middle of January. His shoulder hasn't responded. He was missing from the lineup. So you had 2 guys who saw a lot of action last year as underclassmen who were missing from the lineup this year. Of course, that was Paulsboro's Achilles heel this year. The vulnerability was at 52, 60, 71. Kingsway gets a stalling warning. It's 3-2 Paulsboro. 1:05 left in the third period. If Paulsboro wins this bout, they win the championship. Seconds to go in the third period. Sharper pulls his man forward, controlling the head. He's falling into the mode of not being the aggressor. He's got to use his speed. That's where he's been most effective. There's the speed in countering the shot, but he's got to take his shots. 25 seconds to go. Becker looking at the clock, seeing how much time he has to try and get that one last shot for a takedown that would win this bout.
Paulsboro
for stalling.
Big call with 10 seconds left.
There's it.
Oh, we got the takedown. And that's District 29 title. It's going to go to Paulsboro on that takedown. An escape. 5-3 final score. Warren Sharper and Paulsboro, I think, knows that they just clinched the District 29 title.
Big win for Paulsboro. That's 7 individual champions. 7 champions. They have regained the title they lost after a quarter of a century. They have it back, and the crowd knows it. They may just have taken a giant step toward the #1 ranking in South Jersey.
Well, obviously the coaches knew what was going on. We take a look at the score. Now Paulsboro clinches it. They have 230 right now, and that's what they'll end up with. Kingsway, the only way they can get 1-217 is to win right here. Clearview, third. Gateway, or Pittman, fourth. Gateway, fifth.
All right, at heavyweight, John Stroll of Deptford is, as we mentioned, coming in here as 8-1. He was injured a lot of the year. His only loss was to DeRico of Maple Shade. He's 30-14 in his career. He loves football and track and field events, and he's only a junior, so he'll be back. Jimmy Renard of Kingsway, 14-12 this year, 34-41 in his career. Third place in his weight class went to Andre Robinson, the senior from Paulsboro. He won 6-4 in overtime against Chris Murphy of West Deptford. So he will be going to the Region 8 tournament also for Paulsboro. Quite a performance. Quite a performance.
Hey, Voge, I guess it's now time to think about most valuable wrestler.
Who's your choice? There's lots of them.
It is, because you got to look at Demian Green going up against Becker. Both wrestlers coming in undefeated in South Jersey. I mean, Becker coming in undefeated overall.
If I had to guess right now, I think it's between 2 wrestlers. I think it's between Demian Green of Paulsboro and Jason Mercado of Pittman. If anybody else, other than those 2, win the Outstanding Wrestler Award, I would be surprised. By the way, we didn't even mention, I don't think earlier, that Kingsway has a new coach this year, and Jesse Castro, who for the last 9 years coached on the college level in Norwich, Vermont, and took over a program this year and re-won the conference championship. As you saw, Kingsway get a takedown there.
Hey, Voge, by the way, this being Saturday, a great article in your paper, the Courier Post, but I think Castro's moved, 4 times so far this season?
Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. He's been like a nomad all over the place. Actually, very good friends with Steve Isles, and that's how he got wind of the job opening at Kingsway. Actually, was going to take the job and then actually turned it down and then took it again. And had to relocate. You see an escape, making it 2-1. Had to relocate. He lived for a while with Steve Isles, his parents, and of course Steve Isles beset with tragedy this year when his family, his mother and father and 2 aunts were in a vicious automobile accident. He lost his dad in the accident and his 2 aunts. just very tragic. And I saw Steve late in the football season, and he's coping with it, but just a terrible, terrible loss in his time in life. But he and Jesse Castro were friends from college at Liberty University. Jesse came and took the job. He lived with Steve's parents for a while. Then he finally got the wife and the 2 daughters here, and then they had one house, and they had to move out of it. And they're having a house built, so they moved into another house while they're having that one built.
And speaking of coaches, we talk about Castro. Joe Hollywood on the other side. We can take a look at Joe.
With Otis Myers Jr. next to him. Remember, Big Otis at one time was you see a stalling warning. We have a stalling warning against Deptford. No, against Kingsway. At one time, Big Otis was the head coach at Deptford. Now Joey Hollywood's got the job. Former state champion for Deptford High School. See Stroll spinning behind, getting a takedown right at the buzzer.
Got it.
Right at the buzzer.
It's a 3-2 lead.
And that does make it 3-2 after 1 period. So we're starting the 2nd period. Joey Hollywood, a class individual, John. Great little wrestler at Deptford. All-American wrestler at Gloucester County College. Just a great individual. Stroll quickly to his feet, gets the escape, puts the pressure on. Renard hangs right in there with him though. Buries his head in there, grabs the single leg.
Votes for the first time, I guess, what, the last 4 years? We'll have a new heavyweight champion since Jermaine Ruffin just...
No, he was the 4-time district champion. As you see Stroll spin behind for the takedown. 6-2 lead. Yeah, Pickle Ruffin was to my knowledge, the only 4-time district heavyweight champion in state history. I know there was a heavyweight recently who was a 4-time district champion, but I don't think he started out at heavyweight. Pickle right from the get-go was a heavyweight. And of course a 2-time state champion. Only a 1-time regional champion. Lost to the Highland wrestler his junior year in the regional final and beat him in the state final. And of course last year, the wrestler he beat in the regional final, he beat in the state final. Kirk Council of Absegami.
Beat him 3 times last year, I think.
Beat him in the dual meet, beat him in the region final, beat him in the state final. Stroll in command now. On top. Al Boone just walked by, one of my former football players years ago when I was a coach at PHS.
An educator, going to the media. I went from the media to the education side.
There you go.
Not claiming to be an educator, but...
There's a stall by Kingsway and a point for Deptford.
So Stroll, after falling behind 2-0 early, and control 7-2 with 40 seconds left.
And there's an escape. Makes it 7-3.
Well, you knew Kingsway was going to pick up ground, Voj, in the middle. They did, but just didn't have enough at the end.
Well, that's true. You know, we knew going in where Paulsboro had to win. They've been doing it all year, down the bottom, and then punctuating it with Bennett and Sharper up top. And that's exactly what they did in this tournament. They dominated down the bottom at 103, 112, 119. Second at 125, 130, 35. Bad place winners at 40 and 45. They won at 89 and 215. That's 7 champions of the 14 weight classes, and that's kind of dominating. Kingsway will have 4, Pittman 2, and Deptford 1. If John Stroll hangs on here through the 3rd period, he has a 7-3 lead after 2 periods. Magnificent job by the Paulsboro coaching staff this year. Paul Marina, who surpassed Bob Frederick as the all-time winningest coach in Paulsboro history. Fascinating their program, John. 700 and I don't know how many wins now. 738 wins, 54 losses in 56 years. Fascinating. 12 ties. They just blue-collar community from Paulsboro with the help from Gibbstown.
Yeah, let's get that in, Voj. Because
well,
I spent the first 33 years of my life in Gibbstown. I like to think that Gibbstown did send a little bit.
Has made contributions to the Paulsboro program, as Logan Township did for a number of years. The fact is, the Croces are from Logan Township. I believe Mike Croce is a tuition student at Paulsboro. Logan is now going to Kingsway.
Well aware of that.
But there are a couple. Top man forgot exactly where he's supposed to put his hands, and he gets a caution. A couple Logan residents are tuition students at Paulsboro.
I'm a product of one of those Logan residents. My mother from Bridgeport graduated from Paulsboro in '54. Well aware of that.
There you go.
Now living in the Kingsway area, well aware of those Logan Township guys going to our school.
Okay, that's why your taxes went up. You get a stall warning on top. 1:18 to go in the final bout of the 1998 District 29 Wrestling Championships at Gloucester County College. Paulsboro has reclaimed its title. They had won it 25 consecutive years before losing to Kingsway last year. It'll be the 34th District Championship in the history of their program. And they did it rather convincingly with 7 individual champions. Kingsway, as the defending champion, held its own and came up with a couple surprises of itself, and Tim Pence and Gristle, 2 wrestlers who went further, I think, than many thought going into the tournament. 45 seconds left.
Yeah, Pence, who came in with 16 losses, making it to the finals, and Gristle beating Zach Bush, who was the number 2 seed, and coming in at this weight class. And actually, Bush last year beat Kama in the district semis. Kama was the number 1 seed this year.
Would have been an interesting rematch, which didn't materialize. But the excitement continues next week at Absegami High School. All seconds and thirds from the districts 29, 30, 31, and 32 will square off on Wednesday night. The champions in each of the 4 districts get a bye. They will swing back in action on Friday night. 6 o'clock on Wednesday, 6 o'clock on Friday, and then they resume 11 o'clock Saturday morning. And the top 3 from the region, each of the 8 regions in the state, go on to compete in the state individual tournament. 15 seconds left. Just a matter of what the final score will be for John Stroll.
I think a match like this is good for Stroll, since he only had, 9 matches coming in that go 6 minutes. Obviously not a lot of mat time this year, right?
Double stall, that makes it 8-4 at this point, kind of academic. That makes Paulsboro number 1.
Well, we're going to take time out. We'll take a break, Voj. John Sproul of Deptford is going to win the title, District 29 title, at heavyweight with an 8-4 win. When we come back, we'll let you know who the most valuable wrestler was and an interview or two. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Winner, district champion at 275 with an 8-4 decision, John Sproul of Deptford. And now for the awards at 215 pounds.
And we're back at Gloucester County College, where Paulsboro High School has recaptured the District 29 crown. One they lost to Kingsway last year. And with us is Paul Marina. Paul, is this one sweeter because of what happened last year, Kingsway knocking your streak of 25 in a row off?
Yeah, I'd probably say it felt real good because the fact that not only they broke our streak, but they had a very tough team this year. So they were a great team, especially in the end of the year.
I think one observation, Paul, I think Kingsway had a couple of surprises when Pence advanced so far into the tournament and when Gristle advanced so far, and you had a couple of weak spots. I think it put the whole tournament picture in a cloud, and I think what you needed were for your lower weights to come through and your 2 upper weights to do what they did, and they did. And I think that was the whole key.
Yeah, I agree with you. I went over to Jesse and I told him that before the finals. I said that, Gristle and Pence did an outstanding job and put them in the position to be ahead before the consolations. I mean, that was definitely a factor. And like you said, I think we were behind. Well, we were behind by 6 at the consolations, and after the consolation round, we wound up being ahead by 3. And it just came down to our kids in the finals just had to go out and win their individual matches and concentrate what they had to do. And they kept the intensity throughout the whole tournament. I was very proud of them.
I noticed in the semifinals, a couple of your wrestlers were up maybe by about 7 points in the last 10 seconds, picked up that takedown at the end to get you those extra points.
Yeah, the whole team was aware of that. From Friday night on, we knew we had to pick up pins because we knew it was going to come down a very close tournament. But we tried throughout the whole tournament, even in the finals. Matt Humpler, tried to pick up as many points as he could, and that was a key factor for us the whole tournament.
Talk about number one. How important is that to you? Do you think Paulsboro now should be the number one team in South Jersey?
Well, you can't control polls, and in our minds, we feel pretty comfortable that we say we could be a number one team, but the key is we try to win everything on the mat and let those type of polls take care of itself. And I stressed our kids all year that don't worry about anything, any polls, just prove yourself on the mat, and that's what they have done this year, so I'm very proud of them for that.
Any following questions?
Colonial Conference champions, State Group 1 champions, and district champions once again. Just a fabulous year.
Yeah, we're very happy about it. This is a great group of kids. Mr. Vogue knows because he's been around us a little bit this year, but it's a lot of character on this team, and I'm proud of a lot of kids. Jarrett Cooper has made tremendous strides over the year, and that to me epitomizes what wrestling is all about. When you get a young man who can actually change his life around a little bit, I'm very proud of him. He's the example for us this year. I'm very happy for him.
Paul, congratulations. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Well, Vogue, another big win for Paulsboro. They recaptured that District 29 crown. And Jason Mercado, the most valuable wrestler of the tournament, second time he's captured that award.
Outstanding performance by Jason against a very strong opponent in Preston Hamilton. 7 individual champions for Paulsboro. If Jason Mercado didn't get the Outstanding Wrestler Award, I think Demian Green would have. Just a fantastic performance. They did it where they had to do it. They came through knowing where they had to win. They won, and I think it was just a fine team performance.
Well, Vogue, I must say, I'm glad they asked me back. Glad you wanted me back. You gave a list to Comcast who you wanted to work with, and Shryock couldn't make it, so you got me. But it was a pleasure. Just want to remind everybody, regions are this weekend at Absegami High School. Then you can see the state finals on CN8, the Comcast network, the following week. For John Vogeding, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you soon.